Okay.
All
Are you
right.
ready?
I think I am ready.
Oh, okay. Because I'm going to do this. Wait, hold on.
What are we doing?
What are we doing? We're going to do this. I'm going to click on this, right? And then
Whoa! Look at that. It's somebody's birthday?
it's your birthday. Look, I got you a cupcake and a
Oh
little.
my
I'm going to say,
goodness.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, old head. Happy birthday to you.
Wow.
And there's
Now,
another part. You ready for this one? Wait, this is the one goes in our family, right?
oh, okay.
Hop around, skip around, jump around the table. No, that's not right. Fingers in the frosting, blow out the candles, something like that. I'm going to be in trouble for getting that wrong, but ready? Make a wish.
I thought it was never going to go out.
Wow. If this is live TV.
Now I want you to shove that entire cupcake in your mouth.
Oh, okay, I'll do it right at the end.
Okay.
That way there won't be any cleanup because I'm kind of like boxed in here. Anyway,
I appreciate that. Thank you. That's very sweet.
yeah.
It's just a few short hours until I turn 47 years old.
That's going to be awesome. Is that backwards to you?
No.
Okay, fantastic. And look,
Older head. Yep. That
I
is
got
me.
your card. That's you, your older head. I got your card.
Are you
This
just
is
going to
gonna be
open
cool.
it here on the
Yeah,
show
for you. Yeah.
instead of sending
I
it
didn't
to
mail
me?
Yeah, I'm not going to send it to you. This is a clown. This goes with your Psycho Circus Insane Clown Posse theme that was on the
Insane clown posse. Get off my.
remember you on the Kiss Revisited.
Oh, yes. Yes. Got it.
Yes, you were talking about people saying, and then that says say ha. See, this is a doctor as a
Clown
clown.
doctor. Yeah.
Look, here you are.
Patch
This
Adams.
is you. Yeah, I was gonna draw different stuff on here, but it's very slick. But on the inside, this is for all to see. Dear,
But I would love it if like there's a gift card on the inside and you're like, well, I'm just going to spend it because I'm not sending it to you.
that would be cool.
Yeah.
That would be cool. But it says, "Dear head who is old."
Speaking of
Say
old, I
ha.
got to put on my glasses.
Say ha. See, to getting older. Say ha.
Ha!
Ha. Okay. All right. There's your card. You got your cake, and you got your birthday decorations.
Wow, I wasn't even expecting a party or anything, and this is this is
Flowers.
oh, all right, flowers. I don't.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
one thing is, I don't see a person's picture on the
Oh,
wall
didn't
this
wanna-
time.
Yeah, I didn't want to do that for your birthday.
I appreciate that. You should have just printed out a picture of me and put it on the wall.
Oh, I should have. Next time. Dude, what's on your shirt?
Speaking of, this is my
Metallica,
Metallica.
dude?
Yeah, it's my Metallica tour shirt from the last show I went to, which was 2023. The end of 2023, I think, is when that show was.
Dude, the hair is awesome.
Thank you. New year, new color. I did purple
Yeah.
for an entire year.
Sure. Yes, you did.
Now it's the year of green.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
know how I feel about it. I like it. I don't know if I like it as much as the purple, but I do like it.
I like it too, and it's fresh.
It is fresh. Fresh. Yes.
Awesome. Oh, hey, hello, everybody.
Hi. This is someone's bottom,
Someone's bottom.
and
Yeah.
this is It's. I guess this is now officially a special birthday episode.
Episode of
Summum, Bonum.
there. Did that come? through?
Someone Bonum for his birthday.
Someone.
Summum, Bonum.
I did get told that family viewing was shut off in one of my friends' households as soon as we said someone's boner, which was at the beginning of the show, and he was
They
like,
were
"It's not-
sitting down
not
with their kids to watch this.
Yeah, yeah, right. Question mark?
That is not
I-
a good idea.
I told him I thought he knew I was bad already. You know what I mean? I thought he knew. You know.
Speaking of though, this is going to work in later to the episode.
Okay.
But since you don't have a picture of me on your wall,
Oh,
I'm gonna put you back on my shelf right there.
that's
Which
awesome.
it's so funny. I put these cool little shelves here to display stuff on our
Yes.
shows
Yes.
just in time for us to get a new house, and then I'm going to move, and then this setup is not going to work anymore
Not even
at all.
gonna be there.
Because we, oh, by the way, we closed on our new house yesterday.
Oh, congratulations!
It is ours, But the really great thing is that we have an entire 2 months we're taking to move to this place, and the
Because
house.
there's nobody in there.
There's nobody in there, and
Okay.
it's only like not even 10 minutes away from where we live now,
Okay.
and which is cool because it's still essentially downtown Houston.
Yes.
Because my wife works in the downtown area,
Yes.
and I work from home, so it doesn't matter for me. But
Right.
but it's cool that we can stay in the same area, and we ended up getting like a pretty it's a house that's going to need some work,
Right.
but it's our house, meaning that we can do whatever the fuck we want. There's no HOA. There's money that has to be put into it. A really big thing is that the foundation needs to be lifted and what do you call that? Supported or reinforced.
Reinforce. Is there a
and-
basement?
No, there's no basement. We don't have basements here, but
okay.
but it's just because it's a house that was built in 1955, and it's like in a floodplain area, and so like over the years, the water and stuff has just kind of made it tilt a few inches. But here's the thing, without going into any numbers, what we got the house for. And we already talked to like a company that's going to do all of the stuff with the foundation once we are able to do it. And we factored in all of that fucking money, and we still got this house for a fucking steal. And so,
Nice.
and it's not even like around here, like the area that I live in was considered one of the most dangerous areas of Houston.
Okay.
It's now in the midst of gentrification.
Okay.
Not all of it, but there's new houses popping up everywhere, and the new houses, like the one I'm in, are shittily made. They are
Okay. Right.
thrown together,
Yeah, thrown together,
and
sure.
they look nice. But once
Right.
you start living in it, you start realizing, oh, shit's all fucked up in here. So that's why I'm like, I'm so happy we got the house that we own is
Right.
a 1955 house.
Right.
And everything, it's a bigger than where we live now, bigger yard than what we have now, and we're really going to be able. We're very excited.
Yard.
Yeah, very big yard.
Dogs.
Yes, because we have seven of them now. Did I talk to you about that last time? Because
Yes.
we have. Oh, I talked to you. I think we talked on the phone or something when I told
Yes,
you
we
about
talked,
the
yeah.
the seventh dog or
Yes,
seventh,
the
or
seventh dog.
sixth and seventh dog. Anyway. This is not interesting to anybody out there.
Oh, okay.
Old head gets a house.
Oh, nice. Oh, this old head house.
You know what I just realized?
What?
I got this and I got this. I don't have a
nothing to
glass.
pour it
I
in.
don't have a glass. Give me a second.
No problem. I'll just go ahead and try to keep everybody entertained here on the old head channel. And I don't really know what my parameters are as far as the broadcast rules are concerned. Because if I go to get out of line, a lot of times old head, he goes, whoa, put the brakes on, and I gotta cut, so I just reel it back. You know what I mean? And done.
Were you entertaining people?
I doubt it.
Okay.
I doubt I was entertaining.
That's how excited I was to get started. I just grabbed the bottle and I ran to my room and I'm just like, oh, I need to.
You could just do this. You could just.
I don't drink like that.
No.
My
Okay,
drinks are so mostly water that
Okay.
that I don't I'm not I don't get fucked up. We did one show where I was actually kind of drunk, and that's the
Yeah.
drunkest I've been in months.
Right.
Or,
You did a
or
good job.
maybe a year too.
Yeah, you
All
did.
right, so
You drank. You drank very well.
Once again, sponsored by Gordon's Gin.
Or not.
Not sponsored by Gordon's
Or not.
Gin.
Right. And I did the cool thing.
Not sponsored by Guinness.
Oh, see, how do you know?
Because I looked at the beer. I know what a Guinness looks like.
It could be any stout of any kind. Correct.
That's true.
Right. Anyway, it is a Guinness.
Brought to you by Guinness.
Right,
If we say it, if we maybe we can manifest it, and then eventually Mr. Gordon's going to call me up and be like, I saw your show, Someone's Boner. And
someone's boner, right?
I would like to sponsor you and send you both all of the Gordon's gin you can drink. Huzzah!
Huzzah! Now, town. Here now, town. My baby son watches your show. He's into the heavy metals. Right, the heavy metals.
The heavy metals.
Man. So I had my hair green one time.
Yeah.
And I liked it a whole lot. But it's weird to have your hair a different color that's also a natural color, like in nature. So now you have, trees are green, grass is green, moss is green.
Yeah.
There's green in our world.
But not a natural human hair color, though.
Well...
Are there green-haired people?
I don't know.
We're not on Star Trek. Yeah.
Yeah. And those people, that's just the future.
Yeah.
They're just not here yet. The green people are not here. Oh, look at that. Speaking of green hair.
Is that Oscar? Oscar the Grouch.
Oscar the Grouch.
Hey, that worked out perfectly. The green Oscar the Grouch.
Yeah,
it's almost like
yeah.
you knew, you had an idea.
Well, you know what, though? When you did say you were doing your hair, you did mention, you're like, dude, I think I'm done with the purple. I think I'm going to go green.
Oh, I did say that.
You did. And so Merry Christmas.
Because I think things out.
Yes, you do. So let me ask you this, though, and I do want to ask you this. Well, you don't have to have your house on the market. You didn't have to have someone sell. You didn't have to sell your. Oh, you're renting.
This is a rental.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
That's going to take a month to move those fucking records.
Yeah. Yeah. The cool thing is the way the house is set up. I'm very excited about this. The way the house is set up, you walk into the front door and it's like there's a front room that could be pretty much anything.
Okay.
And then also on the very front of the house is the room that's going to be my office, but it's actually smaller than this room. Okay. So when we went to look at the house, and my wife was like really into the house. And
great.
And I said, look, I like this house too, but can I ask for a favor?
Right.
Can that entire front room be my record room since my office is smaller? And she's like, oh, yes. And I was like, cool, we're moving in here then. So literally, I'm going to have this cool front record room. And then like my office, which is smaller, will be where I work and I do podcasts and stuff like that. So literally the whole front of the house is Old Head Central.
Okay, so wow, headquarters.
Yes, HQ.
Old headquarters. Okay, so we're getting there. So wait a minute now. When you do your podcasts, this is separate from you. Because don't you podcast this stuff?
Yeah, not what we're doing.
No, of course not what we're doing. Why would you do that?
Well, the only reason I would do it if I had the ability to do multiple podcasts without paying extra, but I don't. So
okay, because you do podcast the stuff with Eddie. This
Cranked
is
and Ranked,
right? Because Cranked and Ranked.
Because that started off as a podcast. There was no video at first.
Okay, so because you often say, and for those of you who are on podcast, I'm now putting the album cover for this up. Mm-hmm. Right. Okay. So I didn't know if the podcast central was different than the video central, but are you going to still? Are you still going to do this thing from your record room in the front of the house?
Nope.
No, you're going to do the whole thing from the office.
So the office is going to be, so what I'm going to do, entire front record room, and then my office.
Sure.
It's going to be more of a minimalist. And when I say minimalist, I mean minimal furniture, but there's going to be maximum posters. So I'm going to kind of, make the area behind me in the new office where it's got cool posters behind me. And maybe occasionally I'll do a video, like other old head videos in front of my records still. But for the most part, that's I've been doing that now for 6 years, doing videos in front of my records. Like, oh, everybody, look at my collection. Woo! Everybody gets it. I don't need to prove myself to anybody.
No? Okay.
So
right. Well, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
No, I was going to say.
You go ahead.
No. I could not talk at all. There we go. Oh, no, but you should change. You have a new series now since you live on a floodplain. Instead of House Fire, you could have a new series called House Flood.
Yeah, but it would be the same records.
Oh. Really? Yeah, I guess it would.
It's like, oh, wait, is this a fire or a flood? I have a totally different 25.
Yeah. I gotta say, man, this one fell down. I've been looking for it. I did a
Oh
really good job.
man.
I'm gonna excuse me, audience. Well, I can't stand up because I don't have pants on. No, I'm just saying it.
That's another birthday
just-
present you were just waiting
Yeah,
to spring
that's
on me.
right. Happy birthday. Right. Yeah. I think my hair must have taken this down. But anyway, here we go. We don't need to. I have PJs on because the Lord today said, Mark, you just stay in your PJs.
Yeah. And
But it's-
The Lord tells me that often, and I don't do it anyway.
No, you get out of bed, you get some clothes on, you go.
I
you're
work
gonna
from
walk
home.
dogs.
I work from home, and I get ready like I'm going to the office. Like I don't dress like I'm going to the office, but I get
Right.
up, I shower, I shave, I put
Yeah.
regular clothes on, just because it helps me get into the mindset of like, all right, now it's time to work. Time to work.
Oh man,
you know.
So when I text you in the middle of the day, I'm basically texting you at work.
Yeah, but that doesn't matter.
Your boss isn't going to get mad at you.
My boss loves me.
Oh, okay. That's why you get to work from home. But,
Yeah.
yeah. So you're not a federal employee, obviously, and don't have to go back to the office.
No, although like some of those people have since been rehired. Have you heard that the fiasco where they're like, all these people are being fired because they fall under some sort of, I don't know, DEI or whatever the fuck it was, and then the judge came and said, "Up, you can't do that. Everybody go back to your jobs." So all these people are going back to their jobs,
That's awesome.
but they're just waiting for it to happen again, and they're just at this point, I'd say just quit your job and move out of the country. So because it's not going to get any better for a little bit.
Now we're ruined. It's ruined.
Yeah. Anyway, so that's not. We don't have to do that. Hold on. I'm gonna just for you. I know this is usually a cranked and rank thing, but I'm gonna do this for you also.
Every once in a while, we like to get a little wasted. We like to take a taste of alcohol.
Yes. I hope Eddie doesn't get mad.
Nah, he won't.
No, he doesn't watch these.
Good old. I think he did because
Good. He responded to one.
I think he commented on one
Yeah,
time.
he did. Yeah,
Occasionally,
it made me feel good.
Occasionally he will comment or message me about something, and I'll go, "Oh, he's watching my stuff," because he's a busy guy. Like
No,
not only does
Eddie
he have his own job,
Right.
he's got a life with a fiance, and he's got a band, like a fucking full on band. They're
right.
writing songs,
Real
they're performing, they're playing shows. So he's
Right.
got so much
Right.
going on. I'm the one that I'm like, I'm just at home all the time, really.
Right.
So
Yeah.
I'll be doing home improvement things, pretty soon. But other than
Oh
that,
man, that's going to put a dent in these.
now. That's daytime stuff. It's nighttime shit. Nighttime, bitch, doing nighttime shit.
Times shit.
Yeah.
Okay, right on. Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, hold on. Before we move, I want to talk about this.
You can.
Can we talk about this for a minute? Also, did you mail one out to that guy that asked you for one?
No, because I have to make those covers one at a time, and I was gone. I was on vacation.
Got it.
And I went to Oregon, but I am going to do that. So if he's
probably
committed.
not watching, but I mean,
I'm committed.
Okay.
Just so
So,
you know.
so for those of you who don't know, Smurl
Yeah,
does
Smurl.
does music still. And if you're brand new to this, Smurl Mark as is given his government name. It was in a band called Stick in the 90s that I loved, and that's kind of how through a series of events we have now become we're friends. We're friends.
Yes, we are. Yeah.
But he now does solo stuff just under the name Smurl, and this is his second album.
Second album.
Okay, and it's called Enter the Wagon, which I already love the concept of the cover and the title so much. Plus the cover image. How many pictures did you go through?
Well, I think we did about a half a dozen, but if I'm correct, that was the first one.
Oh, nice. And are you literally rolling in that thing?
Yeah, yes, it was very dangerous. It was very, very dangerous. In fact, it's on a hill, but we just took the camera. We in Photoshop, we went like this.
Got it.
So it looks like I'm in a flat space.
And if you can't see, he's got nunchucks too.
Yeah, I do.
So that's
Nunchucks,
really
right.
dangerous what's going on here.
Yeah.
But the cool thing is that first off, these are 10-inch records.
Yep.
It's a double disc 10-inch record, and it's got a gatefold. And this whole thing is hand put together by Smurl himself.
Yes, I do that.
And
yes. Yes.
Actually, like, because I listened to this a couple weeks back whenever I got it.
Okay. Sure.
But I just listened to it again today, and
Oh,
because
okay.
I wanted to set aside time to do the thing that I love to do sometimes, where I just literally sit in a room and it's playing, and I read the lyrics along
Oh, well, okay.
while I'm listening to it. And I did
blow
that
your mind.
earlier today.
Okay.
And this, it's for people that don't know. First of all, you can't find this anywhere because Smurl is very weird and doesn't want anyone to hear his music. He put all this effort and money into putting this out, and I told him I was going to pay for it, and he just mailed it to me without my knowledge.
Right. Right. I did, because I figured you might say no. Hey, you know what? I changed my mind. I don't want it. And then I'd be like, well, too late. I already mailed it.
But anyway, you can comment. Can I be so bold as to say if they comment on this video that they would like one?
I mean, maybe I gotta, like, honestly, that I only put together a certain amount of those covers, and I still have to cut, fold, glue. I got a lot of stuff I got to do.
Okay.
Because I thought I was going to have them. We already had this talk. I thought I was going to have them. What's that, lathe cut? But
Yes.
that process was not to my liking. And
Sounds not great.
Yeah, I was going to lathe cut 5 of them, or 50 of them, 50. So I only ordered enough stuff for 50, and then that changed. Some things you just have to have done the correct way.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And if they sound great. The pressings are great.
Thank you. Do you think that?
Yes,
Because
absolutely.
you're very attuned. You have very good taste, and I'm okay. So it sounds okay.
Yeah, I'm not necessarily like an audiophile. I wouldn't call myself that, but I can easily hear when a record is pressed well or isn't. It's because I listen to a lot of shit, and I have all kinds of pressings, from stuff that's immaculate sounding all the way to stuff that's noisy to all fuck, and I don't even know why they released it. But this actually sounds really good.
Right. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah.
Anyway, but if I was going to describe it, I was thinking that to myself. I'm listening to the album, and I'm like, if somebody said, "What kind of music does Smurl make?" Since I can't just go to Bandcamp and download it because he's a lazy fuck. What does it sound like? And I was trying to say, like, I feel like you would have to create some sort of subgenre, and I'm like,
really?
well, what would the name be? And I was like, here's what I would call it.
Oh, this is going to be exciting.
All right. Lo-fi quirk punk.
Whoa. LFQP.
Because it's got a sound that
I like.
It has a cool sort of like it's got a lo-fi quality to it, which I enjoy.
Course. Right.
But and it's also a little bit of it that has a punk, even maybe not punk rock in the music, but in the vibe. But
Sure.
but then it's definitely quirky.
It's very quirky.
And not just in your vocals and some of the music, but also in some of the lyrics as well. Which reading the lyrics made me so fucking mad at you, because I hate people that can just write really good and entertaining and fun shit. And I would never be able to write any of this shit. But there were so many times that I giggled out loud at your
Oh, you
lyrics,
did,
because because some of them are just but it's not it's not just because something's funny, because sometimes something's funny, but then sometimes a wordplay is very clever, and I just go, "Oh God, that's great!"
Cool. Because that's the thing I rely on as being the thing I can do. The rest of it is just like, oh dear Lord, I hope I get this part right.
I don't know, but it's everything else, because
yeah.
I'm assuming like all of the string instruments are real. Like you're playing the bass, you're playing the guitar, the acoustic guitar, all that stuff.
Yes.
So
Yes.
it all sounds good. You're way better than I am at this shit. I mean, I'm only good at like a certain sound, and that's kind of it.
Okay, so I'm only good at lo-fi quirk punk.
I guess so.
We all got a thing.
The only gripe I have is the next time you do an album, I want the track list on the back.
See, I did that on purpose. I really. So you know what I might do? I might put a piece of paper inside that has it, but that's why that's why each of the lyric sheets has, they have the octagons on the center label, right?
Yeah.
So that's side one. Or no, wait, I can't.
Side
tell
two.
if
This
it was
is side two.
Side two, right?
Because I was trying to find the name of the song that I love. My favorite song is Lakeshore Jive. That's my favorite
great.
song on the album. Not
thank you so
musically and lyrically. It's just an absolute blast of a song. There's so many great ones on here, but that
Thank you, man.
one.
I appreciate that.
Oh, Boxing for Box is really good too.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you very much.
Because I'm very bad with people's names and song titles until I've really gotten to know an album really well.
Oh, sure.
So I'll constantly be like, "What the fuck is the name of that song?" And I'll flip it over, and there's no goddamn track listing on the
No
back.
track listing. Right. And none on the label.
No, none. Just they look like wagon wheels in the center labels. I'd get them out, but
It's okay.
But
Don't worry.
but I want to have you up in the corner.
Thank you. This is a lot of prime real estate that you've just given me, and I really appreciate it.
Yeah, you and Gordon's Vodka. Smurl,
Right.
brought to you by
Look at
Gordon's
that.
Vodka.
Yeah.
And they got the yellow is the theme here.
Yeah.
Your
Gordons.
next album cover, you should be holding a bottle of Gordon's Vodka while you're like, I don't know, jumping over a shark on your motorcycle. It's an idea.
Because the next record actually has the line, "Fill a tank and shark it." It does.
How far are you into writing more stuff?
It's done.
Jesus Christ.
It's done. It's going to be mixed. My brother, who is a very good musician, can play more than just lo-fi quirk punk. The dude can play. Like, he can play. He's good, and he's a killer drummer. And he said to me, "It's a shame that your music doesn't." What does he say? It's a shame that the rhythm sections to your songs don't change when your parts change, because it's just drum machine, basically. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, but that's part of the charm for me is the fact that. But comparatively speaking, though, I'm pretty sure if I remember right, your last album had literally the same drum beat on every song.
Oh,
didn't it? They were just slower and faster.
well, okay, that's hilarious. They were different.
Okay, well, on this one, they're noticeably different.
Totally, and this was because you're a Madonna fan. I can say this to you. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Remember how much Madonna matured from record to record?
Yes. So this is your Like a Virgin.
Yes.
Oh, nice. Now I just need you to recreate the album. You got to do the Like a Virgin album cover with your face on it.
Oh,
can I show the people out there the picture you sent me earlier today, or was it yesterday?
It was yesterday.
Because it's amazing. So it's
right.
It's Smurl Stanley or Paul Smurley or
That's
whatever.
So good, right? I look like the Cowardly Lion.
You do. So now you got to do one where Madonna Like a Virgin, but then okay.
I got a question for you, man, because then you're going to know this answer.
Yeah.
When you and Eddie talked about, that was an amazing episode, by the way.
The Kiss one?
I've never even heard a Kiss record past Love Gun. I stopped at Love Gun, and I have no idea. I just have never. I mean, that's not true. I got double platinum at a garage sale.
But that doesn't have anything new on it. That's just a greatest hits.
Yeah, but it's remixed though.
Well, a couple of songs are remixed. Yeah.
Yeah, sounds different. And so I'd never had any interest in listening to it, but now I do. Now there's like 1,000 records or 24 records, which means I've only heard what 4, 5, 6, some. Well, the Alive records, I've heard those too. Yeah. So now I'm very excited. And this sucked because, dude, somebody in your comment section one time said, every time you mention something, I have to stop the video and I have to go look at the thing.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, what the fuck? And I'm looking up like every 35 seconds you mention something that I need to go find out. But when Eddie said that had the best back cover of all of the Kiss
Crazy
records.
Nights. Yeah.
Crazy Nights. I was like, that has to be the picture that you and I have talked about before, where he's got the blue thong.
Yeah.
But there are 2 pictures. There's another one I sent you where he's kind of like looking down to the side.
Yeah.
But it's the same jeans, same thong.
Yeah.
Why are there 2 pictures? Were there 2 pressings?
No, I think that one of them is an inner sleeve picture.
Okay.
And one of them's the back cover picture.
Okay.
I believe.
Okay.
But
They were like, hey, you know what? You look great. We can't just give one picture from this shoot.
well, everybody had a second picture too. It wasn't just him.
Okay.
So because the back cover of that album, it's got other. I know it's very distracting seeing Paul Stanley on the back, but the other three guys are there.
No, they're there. Right. Yeah. And then I was like, oh, there's Gene. And he's doing that. My dick is the bass.
Yeah,
He's got his bass.
His dick is the gun, the
Yeah,
love gun.
Right. Yeah. Right.
So if you did, so the funny thing is, because you haven't heard anything really past Love Gun, if you go listen to Crazy Nights, it's like it's literally just 80s pop music with some shreddy guitars on it. And then the one I want you to listen to all the way through is music from the Elder, which is their concept rock opera album that they put out in it's 81. I think that one was when that came out.
Yeah. I remember seeing that cover in
because it is. I love that album so much, but it is one. It's the biggest sort of like, if you're a fan of Kiss and then they put out that album, I can understand somebody being really pissed off because it's 100% not Kiss. But it's so good, and I love that. You know me, I love.
Oh no,
I don't want, if a band puts out a really fucking great album, and I go, yeah, and then they put out another album that's similar to that album, I'll go, all right, that third album better be fucking different.
Right.
Two in a row is good.
Boys. Yeah, Beastie Boys are prime example, right? Check Your Head and Ill Communication were a little close.
I agree with that, but prior to that, you have fucking License to Ill and Paul's Boutique, very different.
Yeah, very different.
Yeah,
and then
Check Your Head and
different. Yeah, and then they were like, oh, they stayed.
In my opinion, Check Your Head is miles above Ill Communication, but both are really good.
Both are really good. But then what came after that?
Hello Nasty.
Yeah, Hello Nasty, which is different again.
Yeah. Honestly, Hello Nasty was the one that I thought where they went with their sound wasn't as interesting, and the album was way too long. So it's never been a favorite of mine. And then they came back around and said, "Oh, we'll do like a fucking hip hop album," and that's To the Five Boroughs, and I love that one.
That one's thrown all the way back.
Yeah,
I think
but it's good. It's good shit. It's and then is there one there? Then there's the instrumental album.
Yes,
and then I think after that it's just Hot Sauce Committee, the last one. Can you hear?
Yeah, what is that?
Neighbors next door having a party.
That's awesome.
Yeah, but the thing is, like this is when this is the kind of party they throw. Like it'll be a lot of people there. The music is coming from a car stereo.
Outside, so it's parked out in the driveway.
Yeah, it's just the car doors open, people milling around everywhere, and then the car doors are open in the sound. No stereo system. Well, stereo system in a car, but not like a car, like a console or whatever.
Fucking sometimes those are the best ones.
So hopefully we don't get any copyright issues on our episode for whatever smooth R&B song this is.
Oh, it is coming through.
Yeah.
But barely. Let's not let it, yeah, they're not going to strike you for that. Nah. It's not even your fault. It's not your fault.
You don't, it doesn't matter.
Right.
It doesn't matter.
They're going to Shazam it.
They might. They very well might. I'm going to, is it Shazamable? That's a really interesting question. Is it loud enough that Shazam will pick this up? Let's find out right now. Ready?
Go.
Oh. Yep. They are listening to Charlie Wilson. Charlie, last name Wilson. What? Okay,
great.
So there you go.
Hi, welcome to Summum, Bonum, sponsored by Charlie Wilson.
Charlie Wilson.
Yeah, Charlie Wilson.
That may not even be it. I don't know. I didn't listen to it to confirm. But Smurl's album is great.
Yeah,
you can't hear it. I can hear it.
Yeah, you
can't. You can.
Right.
You may listen to Jimmy, but you can't hear Jimmy.
Right. I hear you. I'm listening to you, but I do not hear you. I do not hear what you're saying. Well, so this is, man, I'm very excited for you in this house thing. This is your first property that you're owning. And I was going to say homeowner, but then, we would all laugh and say he said homeowner. And
yeah.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah.
Which I've been joking with my wife. You know, when we left the closing thing yesterday, and we're walking. I'm just like, look at us, a couple of homos.
Couple of homos. That's what we are. That's awesome. Has she owned a home before?
She has, yes, because
So it's like
years ago she was married before and got divorced.
Okay.
And they had a house. They owned a house, but not for very long.
Okay.
And so she's been through this whole thing before, the buying a house thing. I've never been through it before, but apparently our experience this time was way easier than it normally is. So I don't know.
Dude, congratulations. You know, I hear a lot of stuff about Texas and about how, not to take away from all the hard work and saving that you've done, but Texas is a place that is like trying to get you in a house.
I guess.
They want companies to move there. They want all sorts of stuff to move there. So they make the housing like very accessible. And the reason I say this is because like here in Chicago, good fucking luck.
They don't, I mean, they make it accessible if you've got $300,000, $400,000 to move into a little house.
Man.
Well, we got it for way cheaper than that. I'm just going to say.
Sure.
But there are houses in our area that's still considered the ghetto that are 2-bedroom, 1-bathroom, $300,000. Like that's a thing. So it's like.
That'll get you nothing.
No.
Right. It's crazy here.
So it's even, so 300,000 is nothing over there?
I think maybe you'll get a 1-bedroom condo or whatever.
Wait, what city are you in again? Are you in Chicago?
I am in Chicago.
In Chicago, okay.
Yeah, I'm in.
I didn't know if there was like an what do you call it, a suburb or something.
No, yeah, there's. Oh boy, are there? but we're not in those. We are in Chicago proper.
You're in Chicago, where the Chicago Transit Authority is from.
CTA,
now known as Chicago.
Yeah,
the band Chicago.
Are they even known as anything now?
Yeah, they're still doing it. They put out. There was an episode we did where we started talking about Chicago, and Eddie looked up how many albums they have, and it's like 40.
Wow!
Because they keep numbering. Every album is a number.
Oh, that's right.
And even when it's a live album or a compilation or something special, they do one number up, and now it's like Chicago 43 or some shit like that.
Wow. So, but Peter Cetera
he's gone
group anymore.
He's gone. He was all about the glory of love, and they were not about that, and so they kicked him out, or he left.
Okay.
Who the fuck knows? Sure. Maybe he's back with them. I don't know, because have you heard anything from Peter Cetera in like 30 years? I haven't.
No. But I also have not been seeking it out.
I haven't even heard Chicago since the 80s. So, and I know they still do stuff, but and that's one of those bands that I'm like, am I missing out on something? Because I remember when I totally wrote off the band Toto, because I was just like, oh, they're just like got a couple pop hits in the 80s that are pretty good, but like, why would anybody be a massive fan of the band Toto? And then Eddie was the one that started explaining it like, oh, you don't know who these guys are.
I know. I was surprised to hear him say that.
Because we did an entire Toto ranking, and now I'm a fan because like I didn't realize that these were like insane musicians who.
Oh, they're.
So if do you know about Toto at all? Like anything about what?
Well,
because they're
from Kansas.
That's not. They're not from Kansas.
No, but Toto was.
Toto the dog.
The dog was from Toto. Yeah. So anything named Toto, I got to know a little bit about.
Okay, but they were session musicians.
Oh, sure they were.
And they went together to make a band, and so they are. Those kind of musicians that you literally like put them in a room and you put a piece of paper in front of them and then they go bloop, bloop. That's the guys in Toto. And like you put a fucking piece of paper in front of me and I'm all like, can you hum how it goes?
Yeah,
or show me where to put my finger for the first fret.
You are not making a very good case for what Toto sounds like.
No, they sound, but they do. No, but I'm just saying those guys are that good. Not only are they that good. Do you know what album they helped write and perform on? Michael Jackson's Thriller.
Oh,
there's
Quincy do that one?
With one of the guitar players is in that is from Toto, and it's just they helped do sessions and write shit for so many people. And then on their own stuff, if you go listen to the first Toto album, it is all over the place musically, stylistic wise. And every song has those points that if you're like a total music dork, you'll go like, oh, like every single fucking song.
Okay.
And then later on in the 80s, of course, they did get more poppy. But if you break down the song Rosanna from those like one of their big hits,
right.
But if you listen to it and all the different chord changes and like in that song, I was like, wait, if you really like, if I tried to write this song down, I'd be like, there's a lot going on in this song for a song that's just a little pop song when they sing Rosanna, but it's got a lot going on. Anyway, I became a fan. I was just like,
okay,
because I appreciate. English? No, Americans.
Well, then I'll go check them out then.
Yeah. But they, but I got into them simply because I was so impressed by the performances, but how good the songwriting was, and them just jumping, doing a poppy song, doing a proggy song, doing a rock song. It's just all kind of and it flows together all really nicely. And I'm like, man, these guys are like super genius musicians that also happen to have some really massive hits in the 80s. So good for them,
So Rain Down in Africa, God Bless the Rain.
Yeah.
That's Toto. Okay.
And on their first album, there's a song on their first album that and that's Hold the Line. You know that one?
Oh,
Love isn't always on time.
That is not them.
That's them. That's them.
Wow.
That's Toto.
Amazing.
Yeah. And then if you go even deeper, there was another minor hit from that album, which is that Georgia Porgy Pudding Pie, kiss the girls and make them cry. You know that song?
Well,
Georgia
I
Porgy.
used to say that on the playground when I was a kid, but I don't know. I've heard Toto.
Georgia. Well, that's probably what it's from. I don't know. I don't know the history of Georgie Porgy.
No.
But man, we're talking about Toto. How do we get on that? I don't even.
Yeah, well, you did, and I'm very excited. So I'll go check them out. Toto. There's also a toilet named that, right? Toto toilets.
Is it TOTO?
I believe it is.
No, okay. I don't know.
Toto. Yeah.
Okay. I'm not a connoisseur of toilets. So
no, American Standard. No, there. There's a band called that, right? American Standard. There's a band
probably.
Called that.
I think I've used an American Standard if I remember right, but usually I'm just sort of making sure I'm aiming because I don't want to be one of those guys that doesn't get shit all over the floor.
Right. But why? Because no one else cares about that.
But I do, and I'm gonna die knowing that I cared.
Oh, okay. So it's a personal pride thing.
Yeah,
I like that.
Yeah.
Oh, I like that.
That's the kind of thing that I normally wouldn't talk to anybody about, but it's now come up in conversation. But I wouldn't show up to meet somebody for the first time. Things you need to know about me. I love long walks in the park, and I make sure that my pee goes straight into the toilet so it doesn't get on anybody else's shoes.
That's the shoes.
Yeah.
That's why we don't wear shoes in the house.
I wear. Oh, I got new.
Oh, what do you got? What are your wheels? What are your kicks?
I have
those mules.
I have
mules.
I have an old pair of Adidas sandals that were getting really worn out, and I got these new ones that not only do they have the Velcro going on, but they have these little things that
the nubs.
The nubs
they massage your foot. They massage your foot.
Yeah. That was one of my handful of birthday presents. That when I say birthday presents, it's literally just like my wife goes, "Just get those." Well, okay, cool.
Nice. Yeah. That picture on your Discogs thing of you and her, fucking amazing. That's amazing.
That's old too. That's back when she had yellow hair.
Right.
That was like we still lived in Austin at that point. So that was
okay. So you got a record room, but did she get a quilting room?
Yeah. So technically,
she already had her eye on a room, didn't she? She's like, "Oh yeah, you want this room? No problem."
It's a house where there's a one-car garage, but they had already kind of tiled it and converted it a little bit, and so we're just gonna go the extra mile and turn that into the quilting kind of thing. But then she still has a regular office that's going to be right next to my office, so. We both win, but I've told her, I go, look, you're giving me the whole front of the house. Everything else that you want to do to the house, I'm going to back you up. What colors do you want to do things? Awesome. What, like whatever appliances, we're working on that today.
Except for your kid's room.
He's going to do whatever he wants.
Okay, that's what I'm saying.
Whatever color it is, whatever posters, Slipknot poster, whatever.
And he's happy. He's happy with the room that he's getting.
Yeah. I mean, it's actually not as big, but I don't know. It's not that big.
I'm telling you, right now, I'm just accepting you with green hair.
Oh.
I'm just like, oh.
I think my problem is it doesn't go good with the beard.
It does go
the
good
color of the beard.
You look like
I was like right here. It looks like it's going really gray, and there is some gray in there, but there's also green dye
right.
in my beard.
You
as well.
have like a Robin Hood color scheme going with your face. Like you could steal from the rich and give to the poor with your face, which I think is honorable. That and you not peeing on the ground.
Yeah,
could be two of your greatest qualities.
Yeah. Who would I steal from? I don't know any rich people.
Well, you're not supposed to know them. You're just supposed to steal from them when you see them.
Okay. You know what?
What?
When we get off of here, I'm going to go download some Don Henley music for free from the internet.
Yeah, that'll
stick it to the man.
Yeah, because right.
That's the first rich rock star I could think of was like Don Henley. That guy's probably loaded.
Yeah, that guy's got a lot of money. I can't believe that. Oh god damn it! Vince Neil has enough money to have a private jet. Did you hear his jet ran into another jet?
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me because Motley Crue is a massively successful band who are again touring and doing massively successful tours. Even though people right now,
even with that dude's voice sounding like the internet loves to show you.
Yes. Because most people don't fucking care. Because like
they don't.
Yeah, because like honestly, if you're going to see, it's going to a show. I don't know. You know this from experience. Going to a show and being in the room and the vibe of the people and the music and the sounds and the atmosphere is different than looking at your phone and hearing an isolated part of a song where somebody's voice is shitty.
Right, but sometimes when you're in the room, you're like, ooh.
Yeah, but I'm willing to bet that they have it mixed in a way where his voice is just a little bit obscured.
Oh,
and he uses auto-tune, so that helps too.
Oh, okay. Now I seem to have an impression that maybe he is drinking more alcohol than maybe he should.
I don't know his personal habits. Yeah, I don't know.
Well, I guess this is just like, hey, you know what, Vince, if you're watching this, maybe you should check in with yourself and see if your alcohol intake is, healthy.
All right. Well, there you go.
That's just my little personal. I'm reaching out to Vince because he's had some problems with alcohol in the past.
Yeah, he definitely has. Somebody died because of it at one point.
I was actually at a party last night, which is very interesting for me because I don't normally do that. I didn't even get home till 1:09 a.m.
Oh my God!
Yeah,
you came home the next day.
I did. I came home the next day. I went out one day and came. And the subject of Hanoi Rocks came up.
Oh,
and then of course it lasted for a little while, and then it went to, oh right, because your brain goes, what happened to Hanoi Rocks, and then you're like, oh, that happened.
Yeah,
that was not so happy.
And you were kind of related because Hanoi Rocks was a little bit of a glammy thing going on. Did you hear that? I can't remember his real name. Buster Poindexter died.
Oh yeah, David Johansen.
Because he was New York Dolls. That's the band.
New York Dolls.
The reason I sometimes can't remember his real name and I just still call him Buster Poindexter is because that is one of the worst things that happened in the 80s. Was hot. That's like if you want to make a list of 10 songs that annoy the fuck out of me, that one is on the list in the top 10.
Okay, it's like in the top. Okay.
Oh
well,
fuck yeah.
10 songs. If it's 10 songs, they're all in the top 10.
Yeah, you're right. No. Why do you got to? I see why you write such great lyrics because you're such a little smarty pants over there.
Well, that's okay. I am a smarty pants. You're right. I really am. I'm sorry about that. I'll tone that down. But hot. No, not into that one. Not into it. What was Bruce Willis's character name?
Bruno.
But
he did. I think he just did cover songs. Did he do original songs?
Don't remember.
Bruce Willis is about to go too, probably pretty soon, because he's
know.
and that sucks because I like Bruce Willis. And you know what's really sad about the whole Bruce Willis thing is that Bruce Willis started to get a bad reputation because people would be like, he's so fucking difficult to work at, and he's kind of an asshole, and he does really weird stuff on set. And people were always complaining, and so all of a sudden everyone's like, Bruce Willis is a fucking jerk off. And then all of a sudden you start hearing about his illness and how it led to all of these things where he was so difficult to work with, and you're just like, oh man. So Bruno was really a good dude, actually. And
unless that's his PR department, he turned into a big dick, and then they're like, just tell everyone he's sick.
I mean, he actually is sick, though.
Okay, all right, okay. Well, that blows that
confirmable.
That blows
he has
it, yeah.
dementia and other some major form of that kind of shit.
Okay, wow.
So I like, and that here's the thing.
Okay.
There are people that from my life that I look up to, and not all of them are musicians, because when I was young, I also partook in a lot of cinema. And when I say cinema, I mean movies, because I'm talking about big ass movies. I'm not talking about Scent of a Woman or whatever. That's not that's actually
also a big ass movie.
That's not a small movie, but you know what I mean.
No, that was huge. It was
But,
huge. I think it won stuff.
So like
Okay.
the people that like were really important to me growing up, and we're all getting older, and they're even older than me. So I'm in my 40s. Some of these people that I looked up to are now 60, 70, 80 years old. So you have somebody like Harrison Ford, who's in his 80s, but every time you see Harrison Ford, you're like, that dude still fucking rules. And then there's other people like Mel Gibson, where like I used to love Mel Gibson, and I'm just like, what happened to him? Like, why do you have to grow up and become such a douchebag? Like, I don't, it's so, but you know
maybe
what?
He has dementia.
But you know what? Racist ass Mel Gibson is still kind of my shit. No.
You said, okay.
That's from Key and Peele. And then like, but like, I just want, when you get older, it breaks my heart that like, so many people reveal themselves to be shitty people. And so when somebody gets through their life, and when all is said and done, in my brain and in my soul and my heart, I feel, thank you very much for being there for me when I was younger and not letting me down when I was older. Because if you're in the limelight, if you choose that life, whether it be music or movies, sports. I'm not into sports, but if I was, it would be the same thing. But even like fucking me doing this, if there are people, there are a handful of people that I would legitimately say are fans of what I do.
Oh, yeah.
Because of that, if I do this for years and years and those people fucking stick around, the last thing I want to do is let them down and be a shitty person. Because then it's like, I spent all this fucking time enjoying what you were doing, and then it turns out you're a piece of shit. And I know they say separate the art from the artist, but the only people that say that are people that are pieces of shit anyway. And so, because you're trying to make excuses for being a bad person. And so separating the art from the artist doesn't make you a better person. It just means you're more willing to give up values in order to be entertained. That's all it means.
Giving up values in order to be entertained.
Yeah, I'm actually pretty good on Gordon's gin sometimes.
Yeah, you're a good talker. You're kind of a smarty pants, as it turns out.
Sometimes, but I'm one of those. I have one of those weird brains where, most of the time, I feel this is how, like, if I was going to verbalize how I feel, this is how I feel. And then I'll have those moments when I'm talking to somebody that I'll feel a switch flip, and I'll go, this is like the best version of myself happening right now. And then just flash forward, an hour or two later, my wife will say something like, can you go get, the Red Bull? And I'll be like, where's the Red Bull? And she's like, right in front of you, asshole. And I'm like, that Red Bull. She never calls me asshole, but we do have that thing where I hate the fact that sometimes my brain is so stupid that she'll ask me to do something and I'll go, I need further clarification what you exactly mean.
Oh, I do it all the time. I do it all the time. Okay. I need you to repeat what you said, and then I need about 10 more words.
Yeah, it's
So
like
give me
it's like
that.
if you're asking me to do this particular thing, but there's multiple ways I could do it. Please tell me the way you want me to do it.
Right,
But
right.
it makes me feel
I just
stupid.
need the Red Bull. Okay. I just need the Red Bull.
I love those kind of things. 'Cause I try to take care of my wife on a regular basis, every little thing that she needs.
Yes.
So the simplest things in the world, if I see her get up to pour herself a soda, I'm like, what are you doing?
Well, yeah, you've said this
What are you doing?
You get back in there.
Because like I'm just like, look, these are things that I can't fuck up. I can't fuck up pouring you a soda. I can't fuck up,
Right.
doing the laundry or whatever the fuck it is. I can't fuck
What
that
if
up.
there's too much ice? What if there's too much ice?
She's never
Does she
complained.
have too much ice?
She's never
Okay. What about have you ever dried something too long?
Well, no, your dryer has a setting on it, and it goes, and then you take them out of the dryer. What's
Well, sometimes stuff shrinks. Sometimes if you have it in there, or if you dry the wrong thing for even 10 minutes.
No, we have a pretty good system for those kind of things because we both have things that shouldn't be dried, and there's just a separate
Okay.
place we put those. But I take care of those too. I hang them dry. I don't. This is not interesting at all.
Well, I've been
How many
specifically
people have
told
fucking-
not to do laundry, and I do it anyway.
But is it? But
can't help
are you
it.
doing it wrong? Like, are you putting 12 Tide Pods in at the same time?
Maybe I'm doing it wrong, but now everyone's just like, fuck it. At least it's clean, I guess. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Yeah. So there it goes. So should we go? So let's go back to music and movies.
Oh yeah, let's go. Did you? So okay, we have to talk about this. I made you a Metallica playlist. Did you finish it? Oh my God, he did. Metallica notes. How? If I had known that you had this ready to go, we would not have been talking about doing laundry or anything. All right.
Well,
So to let everybody know
yeah.
that didn't watch the last episode, or even if you did, maybe you need a little refresher.
Right. If you're one of the 194 people.
I swear. I swear.
I know, dude. You're gonna get on me about
You're all about the numbers. If I was all about the numbers, I would have quit doing this channel 4 years ago, 5 years ago.
No, that's not true. You did that opening of that Testament box set. It got like 1,000 views or whatever. That's
Yeah, compared to people that try on some new makeup and get 500 million views. So
Well, maybe you should film getting your hair done and post it.
it's not a bad idea, actually. Too bad.
Right?
Too bad I didn't think about it. Anyway,
Okay,
So
all
we
right.
were talking about we talk about Metallica a lot just because it's my favorite band of all time, and Smurl is not very versed on a lot of their stuff. Why did you laugh when I said
Right.
Smurl?
Well, because you said I thought you were going to talk about what I said about Metallica, and I didn't want to. I don't want.
All I remember you saying was that aside from like the classic stuff that everybody knows, you don't know much Metallica.
I don't.
And I tried to last time kind of give you an idea of why I love them so much, and the reason why I love them so much, it's only partially because of these classic albums that everybody loves. The rest of it is because of all the things that they did that pissed people off or didn't give people the exact same thing that they wanted or
Right.
whatever it is. And every time they do something like that, whatever the different thing is, the different avenue that they go down, it always makes me love them even more. And so it's like, I wish other bands would do more shit like that. But most bands, especially in the thrash metal world, literally just stick to their shit and they don't want to rock the boat. Metallica not only put out some of the biggest metal albums ever made, they are very happy to rock the boat all the fucking time. And so
Right.
I made Smurl a YouTube playlist that
you did.
literally doesn't start until after the Black Album.
Right.
And it has songs from Load.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I put anything from Reload, but it's a similar album anyway. And then I put some stuff from S&M when they played with the orchestra. I did some stuff from Saint Anger. I put the trailer for their movie Through the Never. I put video from Lulu on there with Lou Reed, and I put their performance with Lady Gaga on the whatever award show that was, Grammys or some shit like that. And then I let it up. I ended it up with their most recent album and what they started with. The last song was like what was the lead single on their most recent record, which is
Lux
Eterna.
Eterna.
Yeah.
Which I have here in my notes.
Yeah. So it was really just me trying to highlight, like, you can go anywhere and listen to somebody talk about Master of Puppets or Enter Sandman or whatever the fuck. And those are all, to me, great things. But like we said earlier, you do some great albums. I want you to start mixing it up. And it doesn't always have to be shit that I'm going to fucking love. I might just enjoy this a little bit where I loved this other thing. But then you may come back later with another thing that I love. But that little thing that I didn't like that much, that thing is going to get a lot more attention from me because I'm like, oh, this is really interesting, this little period of this thing.
Right.
And so they when it comes to being a fan, they have given me what I want as a fan. They've given me at every turn. They've always done a thing where I go, oh, I'm on board with this 100%, whatever this is, you know? So that's kind of what I did with the playlist there. And it was in order. It was in chronological order.
Yes, it was. And I gotta say, like, I think that what really started this is because I was, you know, I am a viewer of your content. Thank you very much. I enjoy it.
Thank you for your views.
Yes. Oh, no problem. I'm sorry that there's just the one. That every time I watch it, it only
also
clicks on once, because I really like it.
Do
so
you
it
have a
should go up
different
5 or
YouTube
10.
account now? That is it under a different name? Because I see comments and I go, "Is that Smurl?" Because it's
Yes, I changed my. I didn't know. I don't do the internet very well. And by the way, that playlist, I was like, how the fuck did Steven make the fucking internet talk to me? I'm so excited.
It's magic.
I was magic. You were like, hey dude, check this out. And you had made a playlist. And I was like, oh, you made the YouTube talk to me specifically.
Yep.
And I think that was very, very nice of you to do. And I appreciate your magic, your wizardry. It was very fantastic. But okay, so I watch your content.
Yeah.
And I've heard you talk about Metallica before. Mm-hmm. It is a subject you enjoy.
Yes, very much.
And you have recently become less tolerant of critics of Metallica. You have. It's okay. You get to.
Specific kinds of critics.
Well, and okay, so hey man, this entire process that you and I are going through right here has been huge for me. It's like a whole new level of like what's happening in my life. Like I was like busy with all this little stuff, and then all of a sudden you did that video for us. Thank you, Matt Roberts. Thank you, Daryl Brannick, because those are who got me to you. Yeah. And I've been fascinated by this. I really have. This has been fantastic. I mean, I think about it. I talk about it. I get other people's opinions about certain things that go on. I mean, the way and of course, I was immediately taken with your attitude towards music and how you are just effusive about what you like and how you like it. Yeah, which is very infectious. And then I started watching you and Eddie, and oh my God, you and Eddie are just like, like it is so cool how you guys do this stuff. And I don't even know half the bands you guys talk about. Never heard those records, but I don't even care because it's like I turn it on and then like I listen to you guys talk, and then you say an album and I look at the screen and there's the album cover and I go, okay, cool. And I go and look for it. I listen to a couple songs. It's been awesome. Yeah. Like, is that what the internet's about? Is that what we're supposed to be doing?
Part of it. Yeah. Part of it should, I mean, for entertainment to me, like when I started doing this stuff, I've talked about it before. The whole thing was wanting to share my love for the music that I enjoy and my specific experience. And because I've talked about it before. I think because of my age, I think my experience with popular music and rock and metal, all of these things, is different than somebody born at a different time. I think that if you're a teenager in the late 80s and early 90s, something about that era, what your brain soaked in, it's a different combination of things. Whereas somebody that was already in their 20s when Metallica, came out with Master of Puppets, those are usually the ones that are like, no, it must be metal or nothing, and they don't want anything else.
Right.
And there's a lot of closed-mindedness out there. But when you come into start soaking in the world of music, when like everything's blowing up in all different directions.
Right.
Like, it's not just a handful of thrash bands and metal bands. All of a sudden there was like funk metal and alternative metal and all of these different things were all happening. And so
Yes.
that's why, like, I don't have time to talk about shit that I don't like. I don't have time to shit on other people's music because there's so much out there that still excites me today.
Right,
And I
right.
feel like my viewpoint on it is somewhat unique.
I do too.
And so that's what it's
do
all
too.
about. It's really, so all I want to do is get other people excited. That's all I want to do.
It's working.
Yeah. And
It's working.
in my OnlyFans, that will get you excited in a different way. It's not just the hair on my head that's green, people.
Oh, the carpet matches the drapes. Is that what they say?
Yeah.
I'm sure you and your wife had a very with your balls. Thank you. Right. Yeah.
Someone's balls. Welcome to someone's balls.
Someone's bona. Okay. Well, so I had started listening to some Metallica stuff because we had recounted to one another, and this is why I think it's beautiful because like the reaction I had from the metal crowd going in my dive into new wave and punk was one thing, and your reaction to the punk rock crowd when you were trying to expand out to be a little more metal was now what I experienced.
Or even me just trying to get into punk. The punks didn't like me.
Exactly.
Yeah.
No, right. I said that's how I meant to say that. I mean,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
not what I was trying to imply. So and that's because we are different time periods.
Yeah.
Like literally 10 years apart.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like that's very fascinating. And this is like blowing my mind and all this stuff. So now, and one of the things that when we were discussing, it was like, oh, okay, like you talk about that, where you enter, what you like, what age you were, what attachment you get to it emotionally, and what your nostalgia is for it, what your, the whole thing. So, and then the other thing that you said was how it changes over time.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So, okay. And so now I'm at a place where like I have a bunch of biases or whatever because I entered into music where I entered into it, and I had the encounter with the hard rock scene that I had.
Yeah.
And now, what does that even mean? I'm 57 years old. Like none of that stuff matters. Like I should not have any negativity in my mind.
But it all comes down. It all has to come down to you wanting that, because I totally understand somebody who might be 57 years old who has no desire and is just like, well, music isn't that important to me anymore, so I don't really need to go back and learn these new things or give these other things a try, and that's fine. But I like it when those people are honest about shit. Like when people comment negative shit about Metallica or other bands that is literally just base level bullshit. You can tell from the way that they write that they don't really listen to that much music, and they don't want to open their mind, and they don't want to think about things differently, and they don't care. They're just out there to be like, this fucking sucks. And I'm just like, I have no time for you. And those are the people that get blocked, because I'm just like, if you're just retreading the same shit over and over again, and you're not bringing a different perspective to what you're saying, or delivering it in a, God damn it, I don't know the best way to put it. Be honest about where you're coming from, and that's all I really want. And you do that. You're honest about where you're coming from, and you seem legitimately interested in expanding your viewpoint on certain things. So
yes.
I just think that that's the difference, is that you actually want to do this.
I do.
Yeah,
I do. Yeah, because like as a Buddhist practice, you kind of got to get away from your attachment to things, and some of the things that one is attached to is their own way of thinking.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So that's like, okay, well, we got to move. We got to move forward. We got to be in the present moment and all that kind of stuff. And if you're in the present moment, what can you best do to not ruin the present moment? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, are your expectations or your regrets in the present moment, fucking it up for other people.
Yeah.
Because other people in a Buddhist sense are just other manifestations of a one consciousness. And
Yeah.
so why fuck it up?
Yeah. So
Don't make it worse.
yeah, exactly. That so, man, I feel like maybe I'm a kind of a Buddhist because of the way because that's really like that's why like I don't argue with people on the internet very much. If somebody posts something that I don't like or they like if somebody says like, oh, this new pop country album is like my favorite album of the year, my brain just goes, interesting, and I move on.
Right.
Like I don't just go,
Sure.
I don't like that, so fuck you. It's just because I'm just like, well, their experience is very different than my experience, and they are having their experience right now. If somebody is positive about something, I'm just like, I just love that they're enjoying it. Like like
Oh, totally.
like you
Totally.
enjoy you, let me enjoy me, and if you want to join in, join in. But guess what? I'm not going to come fuck up somebody else's party because I'm not into it. So. Yeah, now I feel like I want to look into Buddhism now because I'm like, I like that way of thinking because I'm constantly like, I want things to challenge my brain.
Yes.
I want like honestly, all the way up to the highest level of spirituality. Yes. I want to witness a miracle. I want to see something that makes me fucking question reality, question my faith in a higher power. Because I'm not religious at all. Like I don't believe in any of that stuff. But it's only because nothing has come to me and been like, hey, this is going to blow your mind. And it has to be something that can't be disproven by a million other fucking things. It's got to be something that with my own eyes, I experienced something that's completely blowing me away and there's no way around explaining what it is. Kind of like I don't know, like walking down the street and all of a sudden a cow is flying through the air in front of me. I'd be like,
okay,
there's no way that I can tell you that that's something else. Right. Like it's a cow which doesn't fly and it's flying and it's right in front of my face. It's not a YouTube video that somebody made of a cow flying. It's in front of my fucking face. And there's no wire anywhere for wires to be hanging. It's just a flying cow.
No drones in that cow.
Yeah. And so that would be, that's just an example, but something that like definitely you're seeing it and you're going, your brain is just going to, all of a sudden the synapses are firing in some like different way that they've never fired before. Cause your brain's like, what the fuck is this?
Sure.
And that's a big reason why I like going back and learning to love music that maybe I didn't experience the right way back then because it's not a miracle, but I love the feeling in my brain where like I hear something that like it all of a sudden connects with me and I go, ooh, this is good. This is good. This is the best kind of good because it wasn't an immediate like, fuck yeah. It was like, I don't know. And then like years later, ooh, because it feels so great. Anyway.
Oh, it feels awesome.
Yeah.
It feels awesome. And I think that's another thing too. That's like you and
Eddie
and well, no, I was going to say you.
Oh, me.
But then again, on you and Eddie do as well. This is what a lot of what you bring to your collaboration with him, and he's very responsive to it, and is also very clever, and comes back with his own amazing comments and his changes of heart. And I think he even said in the Kiss Revisited one, which of course then there you are, you're literally revisiting a video you did already and you have to change your mind over what you feel.
And that's me revisiting a band that I already loved and figuring out how loving albums in a different way 4 years later,
Yeah. I mean, we do have to talk about Rock and Roll Over, but other than that, it was a great show.
I mean, there's some amazing songs on Rock and Roll Over, but then there's also like Mr. Speed, and there's
you don't like Mr. Speed?
There are some duds.
They call me Mr. Speed.
Yeah, but
I just wanted to start singing falsetto because you and Eddie had so much falsetto.
You should go back if you can. Well, unfortunately, there's no video. But when we did the original Kiss ranking, it was 3 2-hour episodes. Yes. And I sang so much. Because I was just so happy to be talking about Kiss that I think every time a fucking name of a song came up, I would sing part of the song. Right. It was probably very annoying to some people.
No, well, but then who it wasn't annoying to had a really great time.
Yeah. Some people do. I mean? Some people do.
But like he said that on this last episode about how like he was born well after a lot of that 70s music obviously was 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 created, and he had to go back, and he felt like he could make attachments going for, or he could make advancements, or like learn to appreciate things going forward, and he could, there was an almost inexhaustible amount of music going back behind. And he was very like I mean, what did he say? He said like Kiss went from being like a band he was like to being like one of his top 10 bands of all time.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a big jump to do.
But I mean, that happens. I mean, that's why it's great, because like that happens to me in my 40s. There are bands that were not in my top 10 5 years ago that are there now. And it's because like, that's the one thing. Like anytime somebody comes to me and says, these are my top 10 favorite bands, I'll be like your favorite, like now, like what were they 5 years ago? And if they haven't changed in 5 years, then I'm like, well, I'm not going to really have a conversation with you about music.
Okay. Okay. All right. Well, I mean, okay, but unless they really, and in the defense of that, I mean, I'm not trying to disagree with
And you're
you.
like, I'm still into the Talking Heads and B-52s.
Yeah,
That's like
see, I really wanted to talk about Talking Heads. That's really where I'm always taking the conversation to Talking Heads. No.
you know what? I'm making small steps towards a reality where I'm okay with some of that David Byrne and Talking Head stuff. You know why? Because I have gotten into Peter Gabriel era Genesis, which I previously thought it was just kind of because because his era of Genesis is a little cheeseball, and because it's proggy, but it's got such a like I'm gonna put on a little hat and do a little dance. It's got a like that kind of vibe where when Phil,
That's what I said about this kerchief.
when
Phil
Phil Collins took over, all of a sudden there was like a soulful singer in there, and they did do some silly stuff with Phil Collins, but his voice and that music to me sounded perfect. Whereas Peter Gabriel, it really did seem a little bit like these are people that love prog but also want to go to the Renaissance Festival, which I don't ever want to do. But
you should go. It's fun.
No, I'm only gonna. I want to
Chicago.
I want to be one of those dudes that goes as a time traveler and shows up in like a Star Trek outfit or something.
Dude, look, I'm not here to defend the
I want to go.
Festival,
Man,
but you should come here and go to the one here, because the one here is amazing.
I want to go to Renaissance Festival, but not until I have enough money to put together an entire Tom Baker era Doctor Who outfit, and I'm gonna show up.
Dude, you're not going to be the only one dressed like that. That's the deal. I'm serious, man.
I got to afford a sonic screwdriver.
Screwdriver?
Yeah.
Did he have one?
Yeah. Well, yes, he did. I'm pretty sure the sonic screwdriver wasn't it one of his things? Like it started with him?
Oh, you mean with
Tom
him.
Baker. With Tom Baker as the Doctor.
With that era of okay. Don't know that one, because I didn't get into Doctor Who until it was rebooted. I'm sorry, I'm one of those people.
And you're older than me.
I'm
That's
American.
Shameful.
Well, my daughter really got into it, and so I got into it, and it's pretty good. It's pretty good.
Have you watched any of the older Doctor Who stuff?
I was aware of it when it was on PBS, and I was because the PBS was kind of the home of English television.
Well, yeah, I watched so much shit on PBS back then.
Right, Masterpiece Theater.
No, I didn't watch that, but I got Monty Python, Faulty Towers,
Monty Python, all that stuff.
There was this really great TV show called Mind Your Language that like would not be made today, because it was literally like a British guy teaching English as a second language to a classroom filled with stereotypes. So literally to all the way down to like there's a Japanese guy in the classroom, and every time he has to say something, he has to get up and bow.
Oh.
Like literally, it's like, but even then, because the show's from the 70s, I believe, even then, the way that it's done, you can tell that they're poking fun at like, hey, these are all stereotypes. But that's not. I don't think that's humor that it would come across very well these days.
Nope, it got a little serious.
Yeah.
Got a little serious, but
Kind of
that's okay.
sucks because I'm not a total lefty, guys. There there are some things.
Yeah?
There are some ways that I feel like the far lefties kind of suck the fun out of some things.
Well, sure. But really, when it comes down, the far lefties and the far righties are also known to suck some of the fun out of stuff.
Oh, I know.
That's
I agree. I
That's
agree.
okay. Yeah,
Oh,
that's okay.
I absolutely agree.
Yeah, no, I know you did not mean that. I know. I know what you were talking about. But anyway,
Sometimes I just want people to know, like, hey, I'm not that far. I'm not that far away where I'm all like, cancel the comedian for doing an off-color joke. No, that's not me.
That. No, that's a comedian. I don't cancel comedians.
It's all about it's all about context and intent.
All about exactly. And this is right. Yeah, we could get it.
So like earlier when I said homos, it was a joke.
Congratulations.
Remember, like homeowners,
Homeowners. Right. Well, I was making a Beavis and Butthead reference and all that kind of stuff. By the way, okay, it doesn't matter.
Beavis and
I'm
Butthead.
sitting in front of rainbows. I'm right here sitting in front of rainbows.
I keep interrupting you, and I'm apologizing.
It doesn't matter. No, I don't know. I don't have that gear. Like if we're talking, this is just a conversation. It's where it's going. It's how it's traveling.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But okay, so do you want to talk about Metallica?
Yes, please.
Okay. Well, it's nice that you have that shirt on. Thank you very much. And I really appreciate you putting the time together to make that playlist for me. And here are the two things that I wanted to say about this. One, it was difficult to separate the imagery of the videos from the experience of the music itself.
Oh, I apologize. I thought I was doing you a solid by making it more entertaining, by making it the visuals. Okay.
It was very entertaining. I'm just saying, and thank you for doing what you did. Mm-hmm. I'm just saying that from a guy who sits down, like you said, and listens to a whole album all the way through.
Yeah.
That's my habit. From that, I found myself interpreting visuals.
I can see
what
that.
What it did do was give me a chance to see them and to get a feel for their personalities within the context of their music, which of course, since MTV is just literally something that we do now with bands. You know what I mean? Like there's bands that I don't even know what that, like Toto, don't even know what they look like.
Yeah, they're not very interesting looking.
Okay, right. Zippo idea, right? You know, that kind of thing. But
just some dudes with mustaches. That's about it.
Yeah, you had to go see them live. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And having a talk about going to see the Nirvana Bleach tour with a friend at a party, and about how you didn't even really know what Nirvana looked like because of the imagery was never like, hey, here's Nirvana. You know what I mean? So it was very interesting because you go to show up to see them live and you're like, oh, that's what those guys look like.
I do miss that a little bit. So I like the internet for the ease and quickness of getting updates on a band or news.
Yes.
Some bands have a smaller internet presence than others, and I always kind of appreciate that because I'm like, but then you have other people that just take videos of the bands and put them online, and I'm like, sometimes that's a good thing, other times it's overkill, but that's just how the world is now. But there is a part of me that does miss the mystery of what are these guys going to be like. But when it comes to Metallica, they became my favorite band when I was a teenager because of a double VHS that they put out, which is literally just their personalities for like 4 hours. I mean, there's music in it too, but you get to know these four guys in this band, and the takeaway that I had from that was I want to know these guys more, and so. So that became one of those things where some bands, I like a little bit of mystery, but when you learn that a band you really love are like dudes that you just want to kind of hang out with, that's kind of a plus, really, right? You know?
Oh no, it's a huge plus.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, honestly, I figure I don't want to hang out with most of the people that I like them as artists. I would just assume that I don't want to hang out with most of the people.
I'm telling you, David Byrne's probably obnoxious. He just seems like a dude that is fucking obnoxious.
Okay, all right.
Look at my big suit. David, you wore the big suit last week.
Right.
But look at my shoulders.
It's my
That's my
other
Da-
big suit.
That's my David Byrne impression. Literally a thing he did one time like 40 years ago is like
yeah. Yeah. Don't even. Yeah. Yeah. Who did that movie? Was that Jonathan
Stop
Demme?
making sense? Yeah.
Was that Jonathan Demme?
Somebody like that. It was a director like that.
Dude,
See, how do I even know the name of that movie? See, that's how much of a nerd I am. I don't even like the band. I know the name of the movie.
Yeah, but you saw it, right?
No.
What? Well, there's your problem. That's why you don't love him.
It's because I've heard a dozen Talking Heads songs over my life, and every one is more annoying than the last one. And so, but maybe one day, because I think Peter Gabriel's kind of annoying. And
wait, do you think he's kind of annoying in his solo career? Like, if you heard his solo
even more so.
No, pre Sledgehammer and all that, like Shock the Monkey shit.
I don't like
heard that.
Shock the Monkey is kind of it's a fun 80s track, but it's not like, I don't think that's a great song.
You do not.
But I want to be fair though.
You did change some shit when that came out. Like, there were some people who were like,
I have to be fair though. Okay. Aside from the 80s and early 90s stuff, I only know Salisbury Hill. That's a good song. Like, I really like that song. But I think because I was a kid, and even as a kid, the videos for Sledgehammer and Big Time were fucking obnoxious, and I still think those are awful songs. And in my opinion, folks, in my opinion,
right.
But if you enjoy Peter Gabriel, please continue to. But that being said, there's a song. There's a song on the follow-up album that came out in the early 90s. The song is called Digging in the Dirt. That is a fantastic song.
It is a great song.
So those little things, and the fact that I'm getting into the Peter Gabriel Genesis, and I'm actually like, now that I know what to expect from the Peter Gabriel Genesis, I'm focusing on like what they were doing with the songs, and I'm like, it's actually pretty fucking cool. It's not, to me, it's not as pleasing to me as the Phil Collins stuff. But how did we get back to Peter Gabriel?
Well, it's a different animal. It's Genesis with them. It's like Van Halen. I mean, it was just a fucking different deal. You can
that's true.
Eddie was there. You know what I mean? But it just went boink.
And I love David Lee Roth and Sammy Hagar. So
sure.
I don't really know. Right. So I'm going to get to that point with Genesis as well. I'm sure, where one day somebody's going to say Peter Gabriel or Phil Collins. Never mind. I'm going to love Phil Collins till the day I die. Sorry, Peter Gabriel.
Yeah,
sorry, Peter Gabriel.
Yeah. But I mean, when I was a kid, the Peter Gabriel heads were 10 years older than me. You know what I mean? And they were into it, and I didn't quite get it at first, but then later, what we're going through, I was like, oh, okay, that is a bit like, yeah. I mean,
I know for sure.
Album cover with the
I like that album cover. That's a cool album cover.
Fucking album cover is awesome, and that album's really good.
But I know because of I know how my brain works, and I know how my listening, the way I absorb things. I have all but one Peter Gabriel Genesis album now on vinyl.
Okay.
And every time I'm listening, and I fucking know that once I get through with it and I actually get to the point where I'm like, oh, this is cool. I'm going to get some more of this. It's going to be the first self-titled Peter Gabriel solo album that I'm going to go for. And so that'll probably lead me down that path. And you know what? I'm going to go ahead and say it. Talk to me in 2 to 3 years. Okay. I'm gonna be saying, remember when I said that like Sledgehammer and Big Time were like shitty songs? What the fuck was I thinking? And that's because the experience is constantly going, and I love it so much. But Metallica.
Okay, but wait, you're right. We can talk about this later.
No, go ahead, whatever.
Well, no, because I thought those videos were fucking awesome. Because that stop animation is not something that's easy to do. Like that took but
the fucking California Raisins were doing it too. Heard it through the grapevine. Avoid the Noid. That was some claymation action. Remember that? Avoid the Noid for Pizza Hut or whatever the fucking pizza place was.
No, dude, Domino's.
Damn, pizzas.
Oh, speaking of Domino's, do you like Masters of Reality, the band Masters of Reality?
I don't know.
Okay, you're gonna like them.
They formed in the '90s, right?
Yeah, this is my probably one suggestion per episode.
Or do they
And
call
you
themselves that
really
because they're
fuck
Sabbath worship music?
well.
Because a lot of that I'm not into. I love Sabbath though.
Okay, there is zero. There is zero chance that you're not gonna like Masters of Reality. Start with that first record.
Zero chance that I'm
There's zero
not going
that
to
you're
like.
not going to like them. There's no chance that
Okay.
when you put that on,
All
that
right.
you're not going to go. You're not going to go, ooh,
Okay.
because it goes whoop, and it's big. Rick Rubin liked it so much he went back and I think he remixed and re-released the album because it was not successful. And then of course,
I seem to remember that I have an old episode of Headbangers Ball where they're interviewed on it. And so I
Right.
know I've heard at least a song. I just don't
okay.
know them.
Anyway,
past
Domino,
that.
Domino. It's a very great
It's
song.
the name of the album?
No, no, the song Domino is on that album, and I think it's just self-titled Masters of Reality.
Domino by Genesis is a good song too.
Yeah, well, it's a great word. People like that word. You know what I mean? They got a lot of good
The pizza place likes it. I like
Right.
pizza.
Okay, so I was just going to say, overall,
Yeah.
they can Metallica, they can seriously fucking play, and there is no doubt. It's obvious the reason people really get into this band. There is absolutely a quality and a talent there that is cannot be argued with. They toured, correct? Which means that I mean they toured, not just they went on tour, but that band was on tour.
And they still
all the
are
time.
now. All
Okay,
the
which
fucking time.
yeah, which means that they absolutely love it.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So that also completely comes through. So if you're a person who identified with that sound and you had a chance to see that band and you had a chance to love that band, right? Yeah. So thank you, because that's the uplifting positive thing that I have to say at this point about you sharing your Metallica love with me, and I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Until it sleeps.
Oh, are we literally going and
Yeah, let's go. Let's play it. This is
Until
like Cranked and
it's-
Ranked. Yeah. I mean, it's 13 things.
when Until It Sleeps came out, I worked at Best Buy in the music department, and
Right.
and a guy that I worked with who was also a huge Metallica fan, he was so mad at that song. He was like, "What the fuck is this fucking U2?" And I'm just like, "Song's actually
Really?
really good, dude."
You too.
he was
Oh, because
he was just
they were making an attempt at a pop song.
or just like an alternative rock song or something. I don't know. It's just but I remember I heard that song and I just like, it was, to me it was infectious, like how cool it was to listen to, even though it wasn't metal, you know.
Right. Yeah, like I think when we talked last time about it, the only time the only Metallica that I'd ever heard besides that song One, which I liked because the video was engaging. So thank you, MTV. But the was Kill 'Em All, and I was just not. I think I think it's like sometimes when sometimes when sometimes in the past, when I have heard a band that's trying to do something that another band has already done a lot better, I go, well, what are you doing? But I guess really it's not the second band's fault that the first band did it first. You know what I mean?
What first band are
like,
you
for
referring
instance,
to?
how are you ever going to be Black Sabbath again? Speaking of Black Sabbath, you're not going to do it.
But
It's
nothing
never
on
gonna happen.
Kill 'Em All sounds like Black Sabbath.
No. But what I'm trying to say is, there's no way that Metallica is going to, in my mind, but when I judged Metallica initially,
I see what you're saying. I see what you're
there's
saying.
no way that Metallica was gonna do better what Motorhead did.
That's the word I was gonna say. I was gonna say Motorhead, because I'm like, if you're comparing them to a band, there's a little bit of them wanting to be kind of Motorhead on there.
Well, on that first record?
On that first record, yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
that is very obvious. And of course, it's because what the fuck? They did something that was amazing, and why not want to try to do it? I mean, It's fine. Put your own twist on it. That's okay. We all do that as
Yeah.
musicians.
Well, all
But I
those.
mean,
I mean, you saw the thrash documentary. Like those guys that started the thrash bands, there were basically three areas that they were being influenced by, and one of them was obviously Black Sabbath.
mhm,
Another one was punk bands
mhm,
like your like Discharge and
right.
bands like that,
Right.
and then it was the British heavy metal bands that were coming out of the 70s, which was Motorhead, Iron Maiden, like all of these things like that. All of those things were those guys were all just like taking little bits of all of those things, and
Yes.
some of them like that first Metallica, there's some songs where they lean heavily on the Motorhead side of things, whereas other bands would lean, more on a Maiden side of things or something.
Right. So I when we discussed you aiding and abetting me getting into a Metallica, you were like, I was like, well, so what album, what? Because I have a very good friend here who I hang out with a lot, and he owns a very cool record, or not a record store, a vintage instrument store in
Oh,
town,
nice.
and yeah, and so I get, I'm like hanging out with it's like I can keep my toe in the water of the rock and roll world by this, vintage instrument, a lot of big amps, heavy shit, so, so
Nice.
it's called Rock and Roll Vintage. If you ever, when you come to Chicago to visit me, I'll take you there and you'll really enjoy it. But
Okay.
he is a Metallica fan, and
Is he like a
so
Metallica fan, as in all the way up to what they're doing now?
I will ask him that
Okay.
next week when I see him,
Okay.
because this is a very beautifully unfolding Metallica conversation that I'm having with a lot of people now, and because there are a lot of people who absolutely adore and love that band.
Yeah.
Where am I going with this? Oh man, I'm so sorry about this. Okay, so I asked you, what album should I start with then?
Yeah.
Like if I didn't, and you were like, you know what, dude, fuck that. I'm gonna give you a playlist, and and you jumped me way the fuck over, like this whole swath of their career,
Yeah.
and
Well, I mean, because
and that's fine. Thank
here's
you.
the thing: if you've heard Kill 'Em
Uh,
All and you've heard Master of Puppets and you've
but
heard
I
one,
haven't.
you haven't heard the song Master of Puppets.
Oh, I've heard the song, I suppose. Okay, yeah,
Yeah,
not that.
I'm just saying, like, there are other cooler things and different things they did during that time period, but that kind of sums it up. Those three things: Kill 'Em All, the song Master of Puppets, the song One,
Right.
because that's the
Okay.
'80s. That's kind of where that's their
Sure.
trajectory during that time. And so, if you asked me, like, make me a playlist of your favorite Metallica songs, you would have a lot more from the '80s era.
Okay.
But I thought it was more interesting to be like, well, it's really easy to what Master of Puppets sounds like, the song, what it sounds like.
Yeah. Right.
And so,
Right.
yeah.
Right. Okay. Well, so and then I guess what had happened in between you sending the playlist and us having a conversation about that is you were having a conversation with Eddie, and I went to check out some stuff, like you like that song where they're playing in the prison.
Oh yeah. Saint Anger. Yeah.
Saint Anger, right? Yes, yes, yes. Because I believe you had talked. You were. This was in one of your. I don't have time for the Metallica critic.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Rants. Well, you call them rants, so I'm going to call them rants. That's what you call them, right? Okay, tangents.
Whatever.
Tangents. Yeah, yeah. So I was like, okay, I'm going to go check it out, and I was like, okay, pretty ballsy. Like, go play in a prison. Like, who's done? I mean, I guess there's been several people since Johnny Cash who've done that, but I probably couldn't name them.
Yeah.
Who went to prisons to play okay, and
Yeah.
yeah, and I feel like the justice system and the correctional facilities are something that I wish were done differently,
Oh hell yeah. I agree. Yeah.
to say the least.
Yes.
So it's great that someone bothered to go there and even put the spotlight on them, and then allow them to look like people instead of
So
just
so
like,
you watched that video independent of this, because I didn't put that on my
yes,
playlist.
no, yeah, you did not,
Got it.
and cool, well, because I mentioned that I'd seen a couple of them, and you're like, here's what I'm going to do. I'm gonna, what do you call that? Curate this for you, and I'm going to send this to you. Okay, so I was in Oregon with my brother for a good long time I have an entire other album in the can right now. It's in the can.
That you
It's
all
getting-
will never hear, but I
yeah,
will.
you're gonna hear it. And I don't know if it's quirky lo-fi punk or whatever, but it's gonna be it's amazing. Okay, but anyway,
It's going to
that
be
being said,
the next level should be quirky lo-fi psychedelic punk.
oh yeah, really,
So yeah,
yeah.
just put a theremin in some of the songs,
Well, right.
or a theremin, or
Okay,
what are they, a sitar. Do that as well.
Sitar. Yeah. And I know Eddie would like it if I put a sitar
Yes.
in it because
Yeah.
he loves a sitar. Okay, and you had said, "Hey man, did you listen?" You texted me. You said, "Did you listen to that playlist?" And I
Yes.
said, "I haven't had time." And I said, "I started when I was around my brother," and he was like, meh. He had some stuff to say about Metallica, and I was like, whatever. I want a clean headspace
And I guarantee you, if you had recorded what your brother had said, I would pull it apart and be like, he's wrong about these things, or this is bullshit.
Right, right. Well, you know that thing you say where it's like it's your opinion or whatever, and that's what's mattering. And he didn't say much.
Yeah.
He didn't. I'm not going to go into what he said because this is not where we are with Metallica. Right?
Did he use the term sellout?
No, not at all. No, he did not.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No, I'm not going to. If you want me to, I'll get my brother on the show, and you can ask him, and you guys can have a talk about Metallica. I think that'd be great. And I love you both.
Yeah.
And I'm assuming it would be a very civil, wonderful conversation.
Honestly, whenever I've been in a situation where I've actually been face to face with people that have been unreasonable about music,
Sure.
I always just ask them questions, because you start asking questions and they don't have answers for the questions, and I go,
right.
okay.
Right. Yeah, totally. But if you think I'm a smarty pants, my brother, he's smart. That's a
All
smart
right.
guy. He got all the brains. Okay, so I got all the looks. I'm kidding. Okay, so I'm gonna say that video has got a lot of dark imagery in it.
Yes.
It's got a lot of, okay, so it's like pagan, bordering on Satanism or whatever, and then
Which
like,
everything about that video, not just the way that it sounded, but the visuals was something they had never done before, and all of a sudden they all had short hair. So it was that was a big deal at that time.
Oh, well, thank you for that context. I appreciate that.
Mm-hmm.
What I thought was very interesting is that Jason Newsted. Is that a Jason Newsted era?
Yep.
That was the who played bass.
Yeah, he joined in Justice for All was his first album with them, and he was with the band until the early 2000s.
Because they weren't nice to him or something, and then he quit or whatever.
No, they had inner issues going on, and and Jason wanted to do other music, and the other guys weren't really that receptive to him going and doing other music. But I think
while also being in
Metallica, and I think that because this is one of those things where people will just throw out a soundbite that they read somewhere, and I'll be like, that's not 100% true, because we know how human lives are. There's more facets and folds and things going on. So it's not as simple as they were mean to Jason or they didn't want him to do other music. It was right. There's a lot, because like I've read a lot about that period.
Sure.
Even interviews with all of the band, and them talking amongst each other, you go, oh, there's a thing where they've gotten so massive that they have their own lives going on, and now it's no longer like a unit. They're not all a unit at that point. There's a lot of growing apart going on, and Jason was just like, I'm not interested in this. And it was just one of those things where there was so many things that happened in a row, and one of them was that he wanted to do other music, and so he ended up.
Is he doing that now?
No.
Okay, right.
He did though. He did. He was in a band called Echo Brain right after he left Metallica, and they weren't very good, in my opinion.
No.
In
your opinion. Right.
Years later, he started his own band called Newstead, which it was fun seeing him play metal again, but the songs were kind of underwhelming to me. But I love Jason as a person, so I was supporting him. But then like he had like a lot of issues because he had I think he had like back injuries and stuff from constant fucking headbanging and shit over the years. And I think he had to have several surgeries, and then he kind of just started doing other things. But I think he's back to playing music sometimes. Oh, also, I totally forgot. There was a period of time post Metallica that he was the bass player of Voivod for
really?
For 5 years, I think. He was the bass player. He's on 2 Voivod albums.
That's
which
incredible.
I love Voivod, by the way.
Yeah, especially live, right?
Oh, the whole, yeah, just the band in general. Fucking
Yeah,
great.
no, they'll fucking crank a show out for you though, won't they? They were really good live. That was a good tour to see, or good band to see on tour.
Yeah.
But I just was kind of alarmed that in that video it does appear as though Jason Newsted is wiping fecal material all over his body.
Is I never looked at it that way. Is it supposed to be fecal material or just
Well,
dirt?
I believe Jane said something like "stained the dirt stains me" or "stained by the dirt" or whatever, and then there's Jason. He's rubbing what could be chocolate pudding, but it's could be fecal material all over his body because there's other dirty people in that video, and that looks kind of dry.
You know what? I wouldn't
But
put it
this is
past him
definitely
for that album cycle. I wouldn't put it past him because have you ever seen the cover of the album Load?
is that the blood and semen one,
That's the
right?
Blood and
That's that.
Semen album
So,
cover.
yeah, the blood and semen album cover. Right, right.
But I
But anyway.
seriously doubt the director of the video would have been like, "We brought actual shit to the video
Maybe he's
set."
into it. Do you know anything about that? Maybe that's why they were like, "Hey, Jason, thanks a lot for your service, but you're entirely covered with shit too often, and we don't like it." No, no, I don't think that's what happened. Okay,
No.
but I gotta say, man, by the time it gets to that part, it says, "So tear me open, pull me out." That part,
Yeah.
that little
Uh-huh.
section. I
Yeah.
mean, they really get into something that's like, okay, this is the real shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think like, I don't need to. Well, I won't talk about this right now. But anyway, that song was pretty cool, and I really dug that song. The next one was "Hero of the Day,"
Yeah.
and again, the video is like what that dude who's possibly drinking too much and taking pills and having random sex and
Yeah.
playing video games and living in his apartment, and then like metal
A
spider bird
Yeah.
dinosaurs come out of his ear or whatever.
So,
Like, where did
so
that
my
come
my
from?
reason for including
Okay,
that song was because songwriting wise, I've always thought that was an incredibly well written song, and the fact that it uses a major key, which is not
okay.
really normally used in Metallica songs, so that
Yeah, there was
sticks
even
out to
them
me.
smiling.
Yeah.
Even though they're aping television shows or whatever, it had a much different feel than what I've expected. You know what I
Yeah.
mean from them
Yep.
or whatever. Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, yeah.
Yep.
So that was very cool, and it was interesting to see all the movies that they referenced in that video. But again, that's not the sound. But I did enjoy that song. So thank you very much. That was
Yeah.
that was something very unexpected from what I thought Metallica was going to sound like.
And
Okay,
if I
so.
remember right, that video was directed by Anton Corbin or whatever, who did like, did he do Heart Shaped Box by Nirvana? And he did a bunch of like cool, sort of artsy music videos
Okay,
in the
that's
90s.
a great question. What year did that song come out?
1996. I was a senior in high school.
So this is post grunge for them.
Yes, post grunge.
This is Metallica's post grunge, and so now they're having to probably dabble in imagery that is a little bit different than what is standard. Because they had done a lot of like
Well, you use
them playing live.
you
right?
use the term having to because I don't think they had to do anything.
I'm assuming in order to adapt to modern times that they
No.
and I didn't mean that by offense.
I mean, you know
They-
very well from being a musician in a band that
Sure.
you get influenced by what's going on. It doesn't mean that you're trying to fit in.
That is absolutely true. But
Yeah, and because a lot of bands around that time, they were touring with these bands that weren't metal, and they were getting into all this music that wasn't necessarily straightforward thrash metal, and that seeped into a lot of their music. I don't think they were doing it because they felt they needed to be relevant. I think they were doing it because they literally had because even from back in the day, you would hear them talk about bands that weren't metal. I think they just got tired of having to be forced into a box of, well, we have to be metal all the time. But now they're like, well, why can't we just write different songs? You know?
Yeah, yes, I totally.
Yeah.
And but from being in the room when the talks are being had about what is happening in the world, part of the thing that seeps into you as an artist is that the people who are paying for things are saying stuff like, this just came out, this is popular, this is something, and you go, oh, okay. And then I'm assuming once you get to be a person or a band like Metallica, and I don't even, let's just say another one, let's just say David Bowie,
Yeah.
right? Who made radical changes, right?
But
And
I don't
kept,
think Bowie did it because of record label. I think he was already successful.
but
And
there is
so
I agree, but there's a time
I
about
like
four or
this
five albums
conversation.
in. No, it's great. Thank you very much. There's a time about four or five records into it where you're like, you're not on that. Because I think a lot of bands have four really fucking, just fucking great records. You know what I mean? Like like even when you were talking about Kiss, it was like, you know, they're out of the 70s era. They had to adapt to the 80s era. So they did it because at this point, that's their gravy train. They
I
are
think it's selling it short to say they
okay.
have to do that. I think because I think that times change, and if you're a student of the world of music,
Yes.
you're going to change as well. Even
Yes.
so, I just think that I
But you,
know that there are bands out there that have changed because of label pressure or have changed because of trends, but you and me and people on the internet don't know that for sure. So I just hate making that
okay.
assumption
Okay.
that it was because of some kind of trend or some kind of pressure
Okay.
because the same thing could be said for, you know, I was listening to thrash metal bands and then I got into Nirvana and got into these grunge bands, but I didn't get into them because it was the big thing at the time. I got into them because I heard them and went, "Oh, this is cool. Give me more of that too." You know? So I think with if I
Yes.
so whenever I've been in bands, because I've been in so many bands and been a songwriter for
Oh, yes, you have.
a long time,
Yep.
I get influenced by stuff all the time. And it's not because, oh, if we go play this show with these bands, this song will go down really good with the crowd. It's just because I'm like, something in me makes me want to write this kind of song. I'm going to do
Sure.
this because of the
Sure.
music that's coming in. So like, I'm just saying like that's one of the things that people online annoy me because they make assumptions about why a band did a certain thing. And I'm like, you don't know that. And
Well, that is absolutely true. But I
yeah,
mean, I think it is. And it's my partner Jessica. She's always like, "Well, why does it have to be one or the other? Could it be a little bit of both?" And I'm always like, "Yeah, it could be a
I
little
like
bit of
that
both. Yeah,
too.
that's true. Yeah, yeah."
I do
But,
like
but,
that. But that's why I'm saying don't
yeah.
make it. It's making a point in on one side or the other is a thing that annoys me because I'm like, you don't know. You don't know. The music is what it
Well,
is, and it came out how it came out.
absolutely. And I would say to
We're
people
gonna be
like
here
that,
all night, folks.
oh, I know it's already like 9 o'clock. We only have like a half an hour
Nope,
left.
nope, nope. We don't have a time limit. We do not have a time limit, sir. Let's just keep this shit rolling until you're tired
Okay.
of me.
I'm we're gonna be here. We're gonna be here a long time. We're gonna be here a long time. Okay, so I think that people who are not involved in the industry, people who are not being invested in by major corporations, and who are those major corporations are now expecting profits to come back to them because they have shareholders, and I think
I
then they get to do whatever the fuck they want, and it's awesome. They get to do whatever they want. But I
so
think
so
once you
here's
get
my
thrown in the grinder, once you get thrown in the grinder, you got to
yes.
keep your shit legit, or
But
else you
here's
are going to be left because a lot of those hair metal bands dead,
But
dead. They
here's the
just
here's
stopped,
the reason
right?
why here's the
Okay,
reason why these different eras of especially 90s Metallica, I don't think that fits in there because
okay,
they okay, so essentially the band was leading the pack of this new style of metal that
100%,
that was new.
100%,
They
top of the game.
in 1991 they put out it's still a metal album, and anyone that says it's not is fucking ridiculous, but it's a more straightforward metal album that has slower tempos in 91. That was the Black Album. That
Yes,
there were no other bands that were doing that particular thing at that time. There were slower bands, there were the hair metal bands, there were the alternative rock bands, but the Black Album was not something that shitloads of bands were doing. They took it upon themselves to make this different version of what they were doing. At that point, they released an album that sold, that still continues to sell millions of copies every week, even 30 years, 40 years, however long it's been, 90 since 91. Mm-hmm. But they made so much money at that point. Does the record label still work the same way? They've literally recouped and made the label way more money. At that point, I don't think the label's coming to them and saying, Nirvana. I don't think they're doing that anymore. I think at that point, Metallica is on their own path because they are leading the charge. Even though they're not part of the grunge thing, I think a record label said, well, hey, you took a left turn with this album and it was massively popular, the most popular thing you ever did. Do you want to do these different types of songs? Go right ahead. I don't think that their management was saying you need to cater to this style. So, because I think there are smaller bands that have had a hit album that might have those discussions with management and with shareholders where it's like, you got to do this because this is the thing. And I know that's happened. That's 100% happened. But knowing what I know about Metallica, I don't think their record label was pushing them to do anything aside from, hey, could you guys put out an album? I think that's probably it.
Sure.
But once again, I wasn't there. I don't know them.
No, totally,
I don't know 100%. I just from being, a student of the band and I know a shitload about them, I feel like that's not what it was. It was just, because honestly,
but 91 is not 96.
Yes. And honestly, in 96, around the time that album came out, the band that I heard Lars, the drummer, talking about was Oasis. And none of that fucking shit on that album sounds like Oasis. So
no, not at all. Right. Yeah. Right. Well,
anyway.
Okay.
And there's a fucking country song, which I put the fucking video on there. That wasn't asked for by the label. That wasn't put on there.
Mama said.
That wasn't, the label didn't say, hey, it's grunge time. Can you put a country song on this album?
No, that's true. But you want, it doesn't matter. Did they fucking play that song live?
James has played it, I believe, acoustically at like a benefit or something. I don't know I don't think they played it as a band before, but I might be wrong.
And he is the video.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's literally a song about his mom. So, who's his mom, his parents were Christian scientists. I don't know if you know what that is.
I do. Yep.
They don't believe in medicine or anything. And literally when he was a teenager, his mom got cancer and he literally had to watch and watch his father be like, she doesn't need anything. She doesn't need any doctors. And he literally just had to watch his mom die. So
that was not it was her decision too. Because I know a lot of people.
Well, yes, obviously it was her decision too.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if it was like a one-sided, like, fuck this, I'm the man of the house.
As far as I know, they were both religious people in that respect. So
right. So okay. So that was a very interesting thing. Now, what I got from that to a certain degree was just him Bob Segering out a little bit, like really getting into the Americana. Do you know what I mean? Like getting out of the because so there's a patriotic aspect to heavy metal. There's the rock, the stadium rock, the things that are played at sporting events, the things that become part of
not anymore.
Larger scope. Why? What?
I think they just play hip hop at sporting events.
Oh, well, yeah, totally. Because now that's the thing. It's the new rock and roll, or it's not even the new rock and roll. It's the old new rock and roll. But anyway, I don't even know.
Look, Metallica. I know that you guys have been at it for a long time, but hip hop is kind of the thing now.
Yeah, it's kind of a thing. But they did widen their audience into the country thing, didn't they?
That's the thing that I forgot to put on the playlist that I should have put. They did a fucking song with Ja Rule.
Oh, was it awesome?
Which is this thing. You know when we'd play that in Cranked and Ranked?
I know, I do know.
That's literally from the God damn it, this is good. So much to talk about. So around the time of Saint Anger, where they were going through some issues, Jason left the band, James had to go into rehab, and the future of the band was very uncertain.
Okay,
they had recorded a bunch of rough tracks of stuff for this new album that was unfinished. Okay. While James was in rehab, they had the cool idea of working with these hip hop producers and taking some of their shit and incorporating it into like a hip hop track for a compilation. So, and there's video of it because it was filmed for the documentary Some Kind of Monster, but it didn't end up making it in the documentary, but it's on like DVD extra kind of shit. But literally, like, they have this hip hop producer come in and take two parts of a Metallica song and throw it together, and then Ja Rule comes in and raps over it and does that singing part. Yeah, we did it. And it's one of those things that somebody will come to me and say, God, that's so bad. And I'll be like, yeah, but also kind of fucking great.
Right. It is bad. I get it, but it also is good. Right.
Yeah, it's like
totally,
it's the same because that's why I'm saying there's many different ways to look at and enjoy music. Not everything needs to be fucking Master of Puppets. That's another reason why I love Kiss, because you're going to put out something like fucking God of Thunder, but then you'll also put out I Was Made for Loving You, and I'll be like, this is great. I love that they did this.
They were great songs.
So
both of them were great.
I would say those songs are way better than We Did It Again, which is the hip hop Metallica song. But because it doesn't make any sense. It literally is, they just threw two different parts of a song together that don't go together. And Ja Rule, his whole rap is like, you thought it was over, you thought it was done, but we did it again. And then all of a sudden James comes in and he's like, never more the whipping boy. And it's like, it makes no fucking sense, but you put it together and it becomes this amazing thing that is now something that we reference every single episode on Cranked and Ranked.
Yeah, no, for sure. And was it played at stadiums?
It was never released. Oh no, it was released. It's on one hip hop compilation, and I have it, but it wasn't commercially released. Like, it's not a single.
Okay.
And so if you're just a casual Metallica fan, you don't even know that exists. But those of us
I now know.
You now know.
Yeah, now I'm on the inside.
I'm going to send you a link to the video of the making of that track, because it's so funny because Ja Rule brings in his whole fucking entourage and they're playing dominoes and shit. It's fucking
really?
Yeah, it's so great. And it's like, and at one point like Ja Rule's in the vocal booth, and I think Bob Rock, the producer, is like, do you want to incorporate some of like James's lyrics into your rap? And it's like, well, what is he saying in that one part? He's like, never more the whipping boy. And then Ja Rule goes, nah, I think I'm going to let James hold on to that.
Yeah, no, I'm not going to do that part. Right. Yeah. Right. That's good.
Anyway, once again, another thing that they did not have to do that. They did it anyway. And it makes me happy. So there you go.
Okay. Well, there you go. So,
Mama said,
so, which is interesting because I think he's got, I feel like he has another Mama song. Was it the song right before it that was Mama too?
No.
I feel like he's got some Mama issues.
He lost his mom early on.
Yeah, early on. Okay. Which is great. Everyone can have Mama issues. That's not a judgment call. I'm just saying
some people have daddy issues.
Yes, they do.
Some people have no parents at all.
Yeah. Some people. Right. So Whiskey in a Jar.
Which is a cover song.
Okay, dude. Thank you. Musha ring, dumma dude, dumma da.
So you don't know the original. So you don't know the original of that song.
No, I was like, what was James thinking when he fucking wrote that? Because why would he write that?
So I included that because one of their things that they did was they put out an entire album of like cover songs of one of them being Bob Seger. They do Turn the Page by Bob Seger. That song is a cover of a Thin Lizzy version of an old Irish traditional song.
Okay, is James Irish? I'm just wondering.
He's white, so probably.
Oh, okay, sure.
I mean, I'm Irish.
Sure.
Look at my hair.
I know it's green.
All right.
But hey, you know what? Look, purple, green.
Oh, look at that.
Where do I go? One is ascending. One is descending. You're now ascending.
Purple is out.
Purple is out. Okay, so I thought that song was pretty fucking cool. I'm a huge Pogues fan. Mm-hmm. I love the Pogues. Yeah. And I don't know if you love the Pogues, but I mean, I do.
I've heard some tracks and I liked them, but that's as far as it goes.
Yeah. Oh, I would love to fucking hear you and Eddie do a cranked and ranked on their fucking thing because
We'll do it.
he's got to be all over the Pogues. He's got to know, right? Because they're well, I mean, they were Irish people based in London, right? But before his time, but still, I bet he knows the Pogues. But
did the Pogues have a Christmas song or a song that's traditional at Christmas?
Yes.
I think we did a Christmas top 10 songs, and I think he included the Pogues in that.
Right. It's a Ballad of New York City, I think.
He did. He included that in his top 10.
Cry every time. Just cry. That is one of the saddest songs I've ever heard in my entire life. It's so bad. So, but that little post-chorus guitar riffy thing that they go into, that little ditty is amazing. But I gotta say, I wrote down no, not a lingerie pillow fight. Which has got to be the standard. Hey, how can we get a bunch of ladies in a room in their underpants to have a pillow fight?
To be fair, I don't think any of them were in an actual lingerie. I think they were just in underwear.
They were in underwear and what would you call that? Tank tops. But
also, I'm pretty sure one of them is vomiting in a toilet. So I don't.
At one point,
it's not all fun and games
on the toilet.
Yeah,
they even included a little vomit on the toilet, which I thought was back to Jason Newsted. Right.
He's still there at that point. Maybe that's why. Yeah, right. He was the guy that was all into shit and vomit.
Shit and vomit.
That was a real reason. Nobody knows that.
Right. We're just assuming.
Yeah, we're just assuming.
Yeah, we're just
You
assuming.
don't know that Jason didn't have some sort of weird fetish.
Right. And you don't know if I have one.
But do you, for real? Do you have like a strange fetish? I'm curious because I don't, and I wish that I did.
Okay, well, I was actually hipped to and I don't know if this is real or not. This is true, but I have no reason to not believe what I was told is from a person who had a fetish. I'm not even going to get all the way into what it is.
Your friend, yeah.
Right. I'm asking for a friend. And because I had said, because you know what? This is interesting. The topic of lingerie had come up.
All right.
And I was like, I more have like a swimsuit fetish. I really enjoy the bikini. If I have to go to a pinup or something in my world, the bikini thing to me is what really gets me. I don't really lingerie seems like you're going a little too out. I've
never been a fan of lingerie. Never.
Yeah. Like I don't. But if I'm 12 years old at a swimming pool.
Yeah.
I got that in there. I'm like, oh man, look at this place. It's awesome. It's still as much skin. You know, really. But anyway, and he said, oh, you don't have a fetish, you have a kink. And I was like, oh, okay, what's the difference between that? And he said, a kink is where you prefer something, but a fetish is when you need it.
Oh.
And I was like, need it to what? And he goes, to get off. And I was like, oh, okay.
Oh, so all right. So I don't have any fetishes, but I guess I do have some kinks.
Sure.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Please correct us in the comments section if I'm nowhere near.
Whoever's still actually watching at this point.
Right. They left at laundry. They were like, the fuckers are talking about laundry. Yeah. He said Tide Pods, and I fucking just clicked off.
Well, speaking of that, home dude that's doing his laundry while he watches.
That's right.
Hello. Well,
hello.
Thank you for being here.
And I can't wait to read your comment. It's going to be fantastic. So anyway, that was that. I enjoyed that song. I thought it was very much also out of congratulations, completely staying with the not characteristically expected from.
But here's the thing on that album, it's like a double disc because they've always been a band that did cover songs and highlighted bands that influenced them since day one.
Yeah. That's what ruined my life. Remember?
What ruined your life?
Garage Days Revisited. They covered the Misfits, and then the metal dudes who hated me started coming to shows.
Yeah, got it. And on this one, they did a new one, and they cover some ones that you would expect, like King Diamond and Black Sabbath.
Nice.
But they also do what's that guy's name? Jesus fucking Christ.
I know about Jesus Christ.
Never mind, because I can't think of who he is right now. But he's like the song they do is called Lover Man, and it's by That guy. Jesus fucking Christ.
Sure.
Hold on.
If I was
on.
Eddie, I would already be on the thing.
I'm doing it. I'm doing it.
Okay. All right. Okay. Lover Man.
Lover Man. Nope, that's not what it is.
Lover all I can.
I mean, that does yeah.
That's a Kiss song, right?
Nick Cave. Nick Cave does that song.
Oh,
so they
Nick
cover a
Cave.
Nick Cave song. They cover
Sure they
Bob
did.
Seger. They
Sure
cover
they did.
Discharge, Discharge songs.
What Discharge songs?
What I See, that one. The More I See, and they do
More I See.
Free
Yeah,
Speech
More I
for
See.
the Dumb. They do that one too. And then they
I
do
love Discharge, by the way. I love Discharge.
and they
Just
do.
put
I
it
think
out
a
there.
Blue Oyster Cult song on there too.
Okay.
So,
Sure,
but it's like
sure,
it's a they do covers, but they mix it up and they don't just do some metal stuff. And
But then they picked that song, Whiskey
Yeah.
in a Jar.
Yeah.
And then they chose to do a video on that one.
They did a video
So
for
they
the Bob
must-
Seger one too.
They must
Or
have been
turn
very
the
enamored.
page.
Okay. All right. Okay. Awesome.
Anyway,
That's awesome.
so I threw that on there because that was one of the things they did where they mixed things up for the fans. They're like, oh, we put out some albums. Now here's the thing where we do some cover songs. So like they keep things interesting for the fans, and I've always really liked that.
Yes. And he did say Stand and Deliver, which I think is awesome because I am a huge
I mean, he didn't.
Adam and the Ants fan.
Oh, I was going to say, are you a fan of Edward James Olmos?
Oh, it's,
The movie Stand and Deliver.
oh, Stand and Deliver. That was a good movie. He was
Calculus.
the principal, right? He
Yeah,
was the principal.
we're
right?
learning
He turned-
calculus.
Yeah.
It's with Lou Diamond Phillips.
Yeah. Lou Diamond Phillips. Who was
Killed the mailman. His body's decomposing in my locker. It's a good movie.
It is a good movie.
I saw Lou Diamond Phillips outside of a record store here in Austin, and I couldn't
Get his
go.
autograph?
No, I couldn't bring myself to go talk to him. Me and my wife, like, we're getting into the car, and we're like, "That's Lou Diamond Phillips," and neither one of us moved.
Really?
No, because I don't think either one of us wants to go and talk to somebody.
Is he
But
tall?
He's average height.
Okay. I didn't know. Sometimes you see people that are small.
No,
Which
he
is
didn't
fine.
seem short.
Okay. Yeah.
But anyway,
Okay. Well,
La Bamba.
congratulations
Good
on
movie.
not getting Lou.
the number of stories of me seeing somebody and not going to talk to them, that's more than me actually meeting people.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. The only way I meet people now is through doing old head.
Oh, so you're not coming to Chicago, and I'm not coming.
No, we're actually friends. That's a different story.
Oh, dude, thank you, man. I appreciate that.
Because I was a fan of yours, but then
Right.
you've just become somebody that I dig. So
Yeah, man. Dig you too.
But the fact that you dig me back, I'm just like, well, shit. I guess we're friends now,
Oh,
right? Isn't that how it works?
that's kind of a request, right? It's a two-way street. It's a two-way street. Okay, so we're on to I Disappear.
Which was a song written and composed for the movie Mission Impossible 2, starring Tom Cruise.
Tom Cruise, who is short.
Yeah. But he is on his way to meeting Thetis or whoever the fucking god of the weirdos is. Thetan, something like that.
Oh, yeah. I don't know. Maybe it's real.
I mean, it's just as real as Christianity, okay?
Sure. Yeah. Well, I had a job for 11 years at this place, and and across the street was one of those Scientology places or whatever. I gotta tell you, dude, I had some of the most awesome conversations with the people over there. They seemed very genuine and very sincere and very cool. But then they would work it into the Scientology thing, and then I was like, okay, yeah, no, I got it. And
I feel
and you know what?
like with every religion, there are people at a lower level that are legitimately good and are taking the good things from it and putting it out there. I think when you get a little higher up is where all of a sudden people are abusing things. Right. And that's my problem. Is it because because like you mentioned Buddhism earlier, and every time I even think about Buddhism, I go, I know there's some sort of what is it called when you're like a priest of Buddhism? What is that called?
Monk.
A monk. I know there are fucking monks that are molesting people. And so I can't trust any religion because I'm just like, the higher ups are always going to be preying on the weaker people. And that makes your religion bullshit at that point. Even though I do like a lot of those Buddhist things, because I'll hear somebody say something about Buddhism. They believe this. And I'll go, well, I actually think I believe that too. So yeah. I don't believe in diddling kids or molesting people or abusing people, or claiming that I talk to God. In Buddhism, there is no God, right?
Yes, divinity is not important.
It's not. Just be a good person here.
Yeah,
Now.
It's discussed.
Yeah.
There is a discussion about divinity, and plus Buddhism is like saying Christian, because I mean, how many different branches of Christianity are there? I mean, even Judaism. I don't really know how many different branches of
So when it comes to Buddhism,
Islam
there's
there are,
stuff like, Lutheran, Catholic, all that shit. When it comes to Buddhism, there's their own versions of those things. This is really
yeah.
interesting.
No, dude, it's awesome. Because from a Western white person's experience
Sure.
of only experiencing Buddhism in a white Western world,
Yes.
I do not know what it's like. So please, not an expert, but you have Zen Buddhism, which is Japan. You have the Thai Buddhists have their own thing. The Dalai Lama himself is Tibetan, so the Tibetan Buddhists are a whole other branch.
Oh, that's
I mean,
what
almost,
that's what MCA from Beastie Boys was into that shit.
yes, totally into the Dalai Lama.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I gotta say, I don't know, did he diddle kids? I have no idea. I don't really think about it very much, but he is a
Why did he name himself? Why did he name himself after an animal? Why is he the llama?
He didn't name he was named that. Same reason that the Pope is the Pope.
They said, you look like a llama. I'm going to call you
look like a
Dalai
llama.
Lama. Or should I call you Little John? That was the worst part.
Robin Hood.
That was the worst. That was the worst part of Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves, because he meets this guy whose name is John Little, and they're having a fucking like a duel,
fight.
and he's like something, John Little, or should I call you Little John? And honestly, he doesn't even say. Never mind, there was no accent. It's fucking Kevin Costner, so he was like,
why
John Little, or should I call you Little John?
Little John.
I'm Robin of Locksley. I'm from England.
This movie, right? England. I am a direct descendant of King Arthur. Okay. Yeah.
Get off my lawn.
I'm gonna hit you with this stick. You understand? Okay, so
I'm gonna get my trebuchet if you don't get off of my lawn. I'm just happy to work that term into the.
No,
speaking of Ren Fair,
yeah, dude. I'm gonna dress in my Ren Fair costume from one of these things, and I'm gonna show you.
Sweet.
I committed last year. I just need some kind of shoe, and nobody wore glasses back then.
One shoe.
No, shoes. A shoe.
Yeah, a type of shoe.
Oh, some shoes. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to.
Some type of shoe. For what?
I need some.
Is this a fetish?
Right. It's more of a kink, but I mean, you know what I'm talking about. I like this. Is getting stuck on me. This is cute. I think I might start just wearing these
on
my hair.
you.
Yeah.
I got a feeling down deep in my soul that I just can't lose. Yes, I'm on my way. I'm mighty glad you stayed. Bow, down, bow, down. Did I mention I also love Lionel Richie?
No, you haven't, but you just did. So that's the thing you like, huh?
Oh, fuck yeah. Commodores, Lionel Richie. God damn.
That's amazing.
Do you have a heart and soul at all? Then you love Lionel Richie.
Yeah, of course you love Lionel Richie.
Cheese on brick. House.
Yeah, good stuff.
Mighty. Okay.
You don't want to talk about Metallica anymore.
No, I do. I'm having fun vibing off of you.
Okay, dude, right on.
So, all right. Shring dama do dama da. That's what we were.
No.
Shring dama do dama da.
That was Whiskey in a Jar. We're on to I Disappear.
Oh, I Disappear. Great video. Great video. It's like a fucking movie.
Just as soon as I belong, then it's time to disappear. I wrote Nice Groove, and Kurt's little lead deal is very fucking tasty in that song. Mm-hmm. That's a good personality lead that had some personality, and I really
he loves that wah pedal.
Yeah, he loves.
People will make jokes about the wah pedal, and those are jokes that I'm like, yeah, he does use it a lot, but I love it.
Yeah, I think you've made one.
Yeah, probably.
I've heard you. Make it. But what was the video for that one? I forgot what the video one was for that.
It's literally like different mini movies where like one of them is like Kirk Hammett, the guitar player, he recreates that scene from North by Northwest where the airplane is flying over him.
runs. Yes,
and then
yes.
James is in a muscle car driving through the streets. Jason is like in a weird crowded building and going through people and getting
the Capitol.
Yeah, and then Lars, there's an explosion. And he dives out of a window.
Die Hard,
yeah.
He fucking did Die Hard
because they made,
the shit out
and
of
it
that
makes
one.
sense because like it was for like a big budget action movie, so they just made their own little
Action
mini movies,
Right.
which I love that song. The song is like, I love that song, but I don't think it's a strong part of their discography. I just think it's a fun little rocker, you know.
Oh yeah, no, it seemed to. Yeah, I enjoyed that one too. And then, no, it was another one. Anyway, so because what time is it? It's 9:20. So then you went on to No Leaf Clover.
Oh, which is when they did an entire concert with the San Francisco Symphony.
Yes, which is, by the way, if you ever get the chance to do it, I mean, I guess you have to say yes because that was pretty fucking cool, right? I mean, if someone says to you, "Hey, I have this idea," or you say, "Hey, I would like to do a whole thing with a symphony," and then someone says, "Yeah, okay."
Well, that's the thing about their career that I love is that like they've done things where they've lost so much money from certain things. That movie is one of them. They lost so much money from that movie, but they didn't say. They literally just said, "We got this crazy idea. Let's just fucking do it." I mean, they played Antarctica. They played a show in Antarctica just to do it. They had to play in a fucking dome. And like couldn't play very loud. It had to be in people's headphones, and they had like only like 20 people there that like worked there. But they still were just like, let's play Antarctica, and they fucking did it. And that's just like, why not? Do it.
I want to see this.
It's on YouTube.
Do you mean that they played at the edge of the flat Earth?
And they did. They did.
Right. They just wanted to go there. And the only reason there's only 20 people there is because the government doesn't let many people go there.
No, because they don't want you to know the truth.
And they played in a dome just to let you know that the Earth is under a dome. It was subliminal messages. Think about this.
Wow.
Man, I'm like a Metallica more.
You're
and more,
blowing
man.
my mind.
Yeah.
It's almost like the cow is actually flying in front of me on the street.
That was the challenge that I've been feeding on since you said that. Anyway, so I disappear.
What if, let me blow your mind here. What if the Earth is actually
round.
A trapezoid?
Oh.
I don't know.
My favorite one is that it's a toroidal. Yeah, get into it.
What is a toroidal?
I think that's the word I'm looking for. What's it when it's a...
That sounds like when you have something in your butt that you're trying to get out.
Right. It itches really bad.
I got a bad case of toroidals.
Yeah. I think, you know what? I'm no scientist, but
don't sell yourself short.
Yeah,
you are absolutely a scientist.
I'm a smarty pants, but I'm no scientist. But I think of it as a donut or a bagel where energy is going around the thing and then it's connecting back and then it's also spinning. This is great. First of all, I was doing a standing meditation. There's laying meditation, seated meditation, walking meditation. I just was doing a standing meditation.
Can you teach me how to meditate? Not right now, but I mean like in general.
No, you just no, I can't, because that's the cool thing about this. It's like that like the story you hear, like people will come to the Buddha, and the Buddha did a lot of teaching, taught for years. I mean,
the Maharishi.
Well, it started in India, right?
That was the Beatles. The Beatles like went and did that thing, and then they realized the guy was a jerk off, and then they left.
Was he a jerk off? Is that what happened?
Yeah, he was trying to get with the women that were there with them.
Well, yeah, the whole tantric thing is a bit tricky.
And then they wrote that song that's not. They were going to write it about the Maharishi, but they changed it to "Sexy Sadie." That song. That's where that song came from.
Are you being real?
Yeah.
They changed a Maharishi song into a Sexy Sadie song?
I think when they were starting the song, they were singing Maharishi, but it became Sexy Sadie.
So it was like scrambled eggs to yesterday.
Well, I think when they started writing the song, it was about the Maharishi, and they decided to change it to be about a woman.
But George stayed in that group, correct?
But they weren't the smartest dudes in the world.
Well,
I mean, they
oh
were.
my
They're
God,
one,
we haven't even talked about the fucking
they're one of the
Beatles, and you
most
guys
amazing bands in the world and very
for
important,
sure.
but they aren't the
Yeah.
brightest dudes in the world.
Well, man, dude, I was blown away by your Beatles show too, by the way. It was fantastic. We have no time to go into that, by the way. I really wanted to talk, but we haven't really talked
Why?
about Kiss
Why? You know,
because there's nobody.
our Kiss episode on Crank to Rank was 3.5 hours. I think we can beat
I
that.
know. Okay, but I did notice at one point towards the end, you were like, "Okay, let's get this thing going." I felt there was just a little bit of your. Can I do my number 7?
And do you know why? It's because we do those on Sunday afternoon and it leads up to dinner time. Whereas now,
Nothing.
nothing's happening.
Got to take the dogs out, probably.
No, my wife she deals with that shit.
Okay. Well, what if I have to pee?
Then we take a pee break.
Oh, okay. Fantastic. Okay, so
The Beatles.
right. That you guys went into the favorite Beatles and all that stuff. I didn't get into the Beatles until I was 25 years old. You know, I was an anti-Beatle person, really, to be quite honest.
Oh, yeah.
I think even Eddie said he was kind of that way or something to that effect. It's just like fucking stop talking about the Beatles, please.
But yeah. You know what I mean? Honestly, it's Beatles fans that ruin the Beatles. Because they will say things like you have to like them or you have to think they're the best band in the world or whatever. And I'm just
it's just assumed. It's assumed.
Yeah,
it's assumed that you have to fucking like that band. And I mean, did you ever hear that Meat Men song, One Down, Three to Go?
No.
Oh, it's a great song.
Oh man, that sounds. It's about John Lennon, isn't it?
One down, three to go. One down, three to go. One down, three to go. It was great. It's a great song. But that was kind of the way I looked at it.
I literally am just going to put Meat Men into my Apple Music.
Okay, Meat Men. One down.
Is it all one word? The Meat Men.
Yes, the Meat Men. Yeah.
Holy shit! I want to listen to them just because of this picture.
Yeah, that's Tesco V. He's amazing. I mean, he's not amazing. But he is amazing.
Is he problematic?
I would assume that most of the things that came out of Tesco V's mouth in the 1980s would not be allowed to come out of his mouth in the 2000s. But he's a joker. He's a weirdo.
I'm going to add this album to start with because this had the most top songs on it.
They got kind of into a joke era where they were kind of like a comedy band for a while, and God bless
Okay,
it.
so prior to that, they have 2 albums called "Crippled," "Children Suck," and then "We're the Meat Men" and "You Suck."
We're the Meat Men and You Suck. That's where you.
That is being added because I'm assuming this is old school like 80s punk.
Yeah,
which is fun.
It is. Yeah. You're gonna get. I mean, if you like any of that stuff, that was a great record.
I do. I mean, I enjoy, from the the Dead Kennedys. Everybody fucking knows the Dead Kennedys, all the way to like. Here we had a band in Texas. We had a band called the Big Boys.
That they are the best.
But the best. That's all stuff that I hear and I go, this is great because I love that era of MDC also like bands that like they were punk rock and they were like they seemed very forward thinking and while their music also seemed kind of primitive and I really kind of like that.
Dude, MDC, that first MDC record is absolutely mind-bending. And
also from Texas, MDC.
Yes, also from Texas. Yes. I gotta say, my daughter wanted to go to the skating rink for her birthday party, and we went there. And I'm like, I don't know how to skate. I don't know how to roller skate. And so I was, and I'm old now, so I was just, Dad, and do you need something from the locker? Did you get some?
But you can't be just Dad and look like us. You're never going to be just Dad.
That is true. But it is awesome though how the mechanics of being a dad do make you just end up do dad stuff.
That's true. You just look dad, cooler doing it.
Well, I hope so. Or but dude, they were skating and dude, Hollywood swinging.
Oh yeah,
comes in over the thing, and I'm like, who the fuck? And then I go to the little window where the DJ guy is, and I'm like, dude, thank you so much.
This skating rink has a DJ guy
in a little window, and then I'm like, and then I go and I look, and he goes, oh, what are you talking about? I said, dude, this track fucking thank you. I love this band. This track is awesome. And he goes, and he looks at his laptop and he goes, oh, the big boys. And I'm sure it's just Spotify, right? There, somewhere along the line, somebody who liked some sort of funks or soul song had also listened to this. And so now it just got added to it like
Yeah.
an 80s funk play, skate
Oh,
roll skating playlist.
because
But anyway,
I thought you were gonna. So here's the thing: as soon as you said those words, I was
oh,
like,
right.
I'm gonna quit my job because I want to
Oh,
be,
yeah.
I want to
DJ
be,
at a roller rink.
I want to work at a DJ booth at a roller rink, but I want to like play records. I want to have two turntables and a microphone.
Microphone.
You know?
Can you leverage the equity of your new home just to get enough money to a roller
No,
rink?
no.
No. Okay.
But that's
Well, I'm
why I
just here
love
to-
doing that. That's why I love doing my radio shows. Which hopefully next Saturday when I do another one, you'll
okay.
be able to be there.
Oh yeah, no, I would not this,
Not today.
not today.
A week from today is the next episode.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna probably be there. I'm gonna have to listen.
Because
Is there a way I
I'm
can call in? Can I
literally in
call
here and I get like the way that they're so much fun for me to do because like in reality if you could knowing what I know now as a 47-year-old
Right.
person,
Sure,
if I could go back and ensure that I could have a career doing anything, I would want to be a radio DJ on a rock station.
That's 100% what I went to school to do.
Oh man.
I took radio broadcast and journalism and stuff, and I was like, this is because I thought this is what I want to do more than anything. And I worked did a couple shifts at a college station, and it was fucking fantastic.
I never got to do anything at an actual radio station ever in my life, so me, even though it's very basic, and I'm just doing a laptop and a microphone, but I get that vibe of like, oh, this is so much fun to be able to like, I'm controlling what I'm playing, when the music is starting or stopping, when I'm talking and when I'm not talking, and what I'm talking about, and I'm trying to keep things moving, and I'm like, God, this is so much fun. I just would love to do
dude,
this.
it's a blast.
Yeah.
And that's, yeah, dude, because like think about, well, I don't know if, I mean, there were certain radio stations when I was a kid that you knew that whatever DJ, that what their shift was, that was the shift that you checked into because you knew they were going to play. I mean, they had to play the hits or whatever, but they were also going to pepper it in with other stuff and you were going to, have your mind blown. I mean, that's that kind of stuff I miss, but I guess really that's just what playlists are on Spotify or Apple Music for that
No.
matter, right? It's just no. I mean, they're just aggregating, right? Things that people put together, and that's don't people just click on stuff that people who liked this?
Yeah,
liked
but
this, and then
that's aggregating your own personal taste. What's great about radio DJs and in a different way, MTV and the stuff that I used to watch on MTV, you weren't just fed shit that you immediately were going to like. You got to hear different things.
Oh, 100%.
And so that's why like I would rather listen to a DJ who has put together a set of stuff where their own vibe is there. The music they're wanting to play is all there. Their personality is there.
Yes.
Even if I'm not really into what they're playing, sometimes a DJ and what they decide to play and when they decide to play it can make it so enjoyable that I don't even care. I don't even care that I'm not connecting with the music. It's just so.
Well, there are, I mean, the internet has a ton of radio stations, and so congratulations on doing yours. I think this sounds fantastic because I mean, there's like
I feel like you were taking a jab there.
No, I'm not taking a jab there. No, what I'm saying is that thing that you enjoy still exists because I mean, one of my friends is constantly he's got some, I don't know, app or whatever, and there's like he gets them from all over the world. He'll tune into some like that are Radio Panic or whatever from France or whatever, and he'll get way into it. So I'm just saying that electric feeling that you get or that alive feeling is not a dead thing. It's actually very alive. And so I'm saying congratulations. You're doing it right now.
It's because that's the reason why like I love doing it so much because I love having the radio station as it is because it's cool to just be able to share like my musical scope in this format of like, I don't know, radio essentially, but like doing the live show thing is just like, it's so much fun. It's just.
So can people get a hold of you? Can they call in like when radio stations used to be able to call in and all that kind of stuff?
I don't have the ability to do that at this point, but I do have there's an app called Discord that like is a kind of like it's a places where people like communities will come together about some certain thing. So there'll be a Discord server that's like all about, Star Wars, The Mandalorian. And then there's conversations about that within that or whatever. And then I have my own, which is Old Head Network. And I send people over to there. And then there's a handful of people so far that like, while I'm doing the live show, there's like a chat going on. And sometimes I'll mention like, oh, what's going on in the chat, or, because that's all I can do for now.
Like people who do live YouTube stuff, they have a chat that runs, right?
Yeah, but unfortunately I can't do that because I can't play music on YouTube. Otherwise I copyright strikes and my shit gets shut down.
Right.
But
you
on this radio station, I'm paying essentially to this company that's paying the licensing fees for the music. So they pay ASCAP and BMI or whatever through my so it's essentially the way it works.
You aren't charged.
I am charged, not per song though. So they're a company called Live 365.
Okay.
They for a monthly fee, you can start a radio station where they pay your fees goes towards ASCAP, BMI, whatever music licensing. And then that company also offered the add-on of helping me create my own app, a standalone app, which is what I have now. So I can play whatever I want to play, and I have to make sure that all the quote unquote metadata is entered correctly. So band name and all that stuff. So basically, their reporting reports like what you play.
Okay.
And money ends up going to wherever it's supposed to go, record label or whatever.
Okay.
So that's how it works. So I can play whatever I want to play. Whereas on YouTube, there's no option for that. You can't pay to play music on YouTube.
I was just gonna say you can play my music for free.
Well, then I'll do one show on YouTube where I just play Smurl.
And I'll be like, thanks.
And then people will be like, where can we get this music? And I'll be like, nowhere.
On my
You have to become personal friends with Smurl.
Right. On my show, like and subscribe. That's what you're going to say.
Oh, yeah.
You can only hear it on my, okay.
I don't ever say like and subscribe.
No, you never do. But that's why I worked it in. What do you think about that one?
You should start your own channel.
Smash that like button and make sure to subscribe for your notification bell. Ding, ding, ding. new, what do they call it? Content weekly here on the
ring a ding ding.
Ding a ding a do. Dim a ding. Whiskey in a jar. Well, okay.
What is that song on your album called? Ding Dingle Dong. What is that one where you're seeing hot ladies on the street?
Yeah. Ding donged.
Ding donged. That's such a fucking fun song.
Dude, thank you. That is
ding dong.
Really great song. Yeah, ding dong, ding dong. Whoa. Right. Okay.
Another song that you'll never hear.
Right. Yeah, but you're really helping with the legend and the mythology, which I really enjoy.
It's kind of like that Wu-Tang album that like only one billionaire owns.
That guy who bought that. Yeah, they wrote a record for him, right?
No, they didn't. They wrote a record in order to like have it be only one copy that's available, period, and a billionaire bought it. They didn't make it for
I thought he licensed them to do that or whatever, and they wrote a record for him. No, it was the opposite. They wrote records.
I think they just put it out as a one thing. And now I think somebody else bought it, and they're actually going to put it like in museums or something where you can show up and you can listen to a little bit of
it there.
Yeah.
That's a good idea.
Which I would do that. I'd go listen to some Wu-Tang at the museum.
Yeah.
Shimmy, shimmy, y'all, shimmy, yeah, shimmy, yeah. That's Old Dirty Bastard, but still, he was in Wu-Tang.
Yeah. I loved it when he was, what was he, something, Sweet Baby Jesus? What was that?
Big Baby Jesus.
What was his name?
Big Baby Jesus.
Big Baby Jesus?
Yeah.
Was that it? Yeah, that
was right before he died. You were like, dude, you're on a lot of drugs. Let's
right. And I did see him during that time period.
Like a concert?
Yeah, he came through Lawrence, Kansas, and he played a theater, and
I love that solo album of his first one. I fucking love that album.
Yeah. Yeah. Another guy's probably be problematic in today's world.
Old dirty bastard.
Yeah.
I
But
don't
it doesn't
know.
matter.
I don't know if you're not online,
By the way, no, I'm not online.
but
No. Right.
if
You're
you
right. Yeah.
were, one of the people that surprisingly has become a big voice of reason and support is Flavor Flav.
Oh, I know. I have heard about that.
Yeah, it's so like fascinating that I'm just like, oh, like he's like that dude now that's like he's like fighting for good, and
Right.
he doesn't take shit from anybody, and he's
Right.
actually insane for what you know Flavor Flav for. He will do like posts on the internet where you go, did he write this? Because like
right.
all I know
For
him for is yeah, boy,
Yeah, boy.
911 is a
Oh.
joke or whatever, you know. But he's like
Right.
very thoughtful and smart and like isn't
Okay.
putting up with any bullshit. And I'm like, you go, Flav. I mean, he's like 60 years old now, but I'm just like, probably older.
He had a
than
show,
that,
right?
no?
Did he have a show?
Flavor
He had a
of
TV show.
Love. Flavor of Love. When
That's
he
right. Yeah.
and he hooked up with Bridget Nielsen.
Yeah. Dude, I gotta say, as a hype man, he was just like amazing, right? Like,
Dude, Public
what a
Enemy
great-
was in their heyday, unmatched.
yeah,
what they did.
completely. Yeah, just right. I absolutely, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You can put that in You Don't Know What You Said book. Look, 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 good. Look. You said that. You can put that in You Don't Know What You Said book. You know what I mean? That was, yeah,
Yep.
right.
Yep.
Because everything's got flavor.
Oh man,
And I've seen them several times. You've seen them live, right?
I have not seen.
Oh, man.
See, here's the thing. I've seen a lot of bands in my day, but there's a whole lot of bands that I've never seen simply because over the years my anxiety has kept me from going to see bands.
Oh, right.
So
Sure.
there's a whole lot that I've had plenty of opportunities to see, and they just happened to happen at a time in my life when my body went, don't leave the house.
Right. Right.
So I've missed out on a lot of good shit.
Hey, so you're saying that maybe Jesus didn't talk to me in my mind earlier today and tell me that I had to stay in my pajamas all day. It could have just been my own anxiety.
It could have been, or it could have been Big Baby Jesus.
I hope it was him.
Shimmy,
That
shimmy,
would've
dog,
been-
stay in your jams. Ooh, baby, I like it raw.
Okay, I would like to get back to No Leaf Clover because I did write one thing down here.
Orchestra.
I wrote down, I was seriously waiting for Stonehenge to roll.
Ah! And oh, how they dance, the
And then,
little
oh, how
children
they
of
dance.
Stonehenge.
Yeah. Okay, some kind of
I
monster
don't think the
trailer.
problem with the performance is that the band was having an off night. I think the
Off night,
problem
no.
is that there was a Stonehenge monument that was in danger of being crushed
Crushed.
by a dwarf.
Dwarf. It says 7 inches right here. It says 7 inches. Right.
Fuck
that
the
was so
napkin.
good. Yeah, that was so good.
They're doing another one of those.
Wow.
They're literally
second, right?
doing Spinal Tap are old and still touring mockumentary, and I'm so here for it.
Okay. I am here for it too.
Same
I'm
dudes.
here for it too.
Same dudes. Even Rob Reiner's directing. Same fucking dudes.
Wow. Oh,
love
did we talk about this, that maybe their politics had gone very right?
Oh, we may have. That would be
I think
funny.
we had a little joke about if they
I
like
would
if all of a
love-
sudden,
they-
like that thing that you were talking about, how people get their whole life do something and then towards the end they
if
get Ted
if they're
Nugent.
smart,
They go
if
Ted
they're
Nugent.
smart, one of them is going to be
Brexit people or whatever. You know what I mean? Like
Oh,
total-
because they're British. Yeah, they're going to
they're
be
British,
Brexits.
yeah, they're gonna Okay, well, we predicted that. So
No
if
leaf
it happens-
clover.
No leaf clover. Okay, so some kind of monster is the trailer, and I
That's the documentary.
wrote down, I'm surprised how much James Hetfield looks like Ryan Reynolds, and I hope there's a docudrama produced where Ryan Reynolds gets to play James Hetfield.
All
There's
right.
some scenes in there. He's got the glasses on, he's shaved,
Yeah.
and he's talking. I'm like, holy shit.
Yeah. I mean, I could see that. They have similar, but also like the all three of us, James Hetfield, Ryan Reynolds, not Ryan Reynolds. I'm not thinking. No, Ryan Gosling. That's what I'm thinking of.
Oh, Ryan Gosling. Sure.
We all have similar eyes. These weird,
You do.
like
You have
sleepy eyes. We all have
have
these
beautiful eyes.
these eyes.
You really have.
Like I've always hated my eyes because they always
No.
look like I'm stoned or something in pictures.
Same.
Yeah, and I don't like
right.
that. So like I take pictures and I'm like, it always look like I'm
yeah.
frightened by something because I'm like, I'm not high right now.
I'm trying to make my eyes match the bottom of my face. Yeah.
This is like it.
Yeah.
I keep looking at I try not to look at myself when we do
face.
these things, and I keep looking at myself and go, oh god damn, my hair's green.
Yeah, no, dude,
It's new.
It is. I've been talking to you for like 3 hours now, and I have just come to accept the fact that you're. And I go, oh wait, that's green. It's like
I keep seeing like when my hair kind of goes out like this, like it's a little more, it's a little pretty. It
Sure,
reminds me of the female gremlin from Gremlins 2.
Oh yeah, yeah. Or
I'm gonna put on some
Shrek's
lipstick.
wife. Shrek's wife.
Or Shrek's wife. Yeah, I look
it's-
kind of like Shrek's wife, really.
You look. Okay, so I'm going to see this movie because I'm also, and this is what I think is very cool, I am going to go see this Led Zeppelin movie because if you remember correctly, I said that the two bands that made me angry were Led Zeppelin and Metallica, and I feel that I am no longer made angry by Metallica, which is great.
Some kind of monster is not going to be the same kind of documentary because it doesn't really go through their career. It's all about this one
it's
period
about this-
of time.
Yeah, and it's hardcore about a therapy session and shit. Which
They
is
hire a
super-
fucking therapist.
You quit the band. Is that what that's from?
Yeah. Hold on.
Okay.
He fucking left the band!
Yeah. That's Lars.
That's Lars.
Okay. So the next one was Unnamed Feelings. Please remind me of what that video was.
Unnamed Feeling is they're playing in a room and the room is slowly closing in on them as they're playing because the song is about anxiety. And
are they facing each other?
I believe, yeah, they are
Lars,
facing each
okay.
other. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I'm going to say that there was a video that I watched where Metallica discusses the fact that in live one night they got so jammy that they thought they were Fish. The band Fish. There's like a little video. They're sitting in what looks like a practice space.
Mm-hmm.
Lars is facing the band. They're facing Lars, and in they're in a circle or whatever. And there's there's like a rack unit in there that looks like it's got amps and some other effects and some shit in there. So it must be their practice space. And they were like, yeah, dude, we launched into this thing. I was like, whoa, we're sounding like Fish right now. And I thought that was really, have you seen this video? It's like just them talking in their practice.
They said they sound like Fish.
Yeah, they were joking that
Yeah.
they got so jammy in one of these
Got
they
it.
went off on one of these free things that they were like, dude, I felt like Fish, which I thought was hilarious that Fish and Metallica were in the same context. But it was also funny that Metallica themselves were joking that they got so jammy they sounded like Fish, which is funny.
Yeah.
I thought that's funny. Okay, so but I love that practice thing that they had.
Mhm.
They are standing right in front of one another. I mean, they are Metallica. They could be checked out. They could be in other rooms using video cameras, but they're not. They are in a little room. And then again shows their dedication and love of playing music together.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That is like it's inspirational. It's actually very
I mean,
cool.
they have enough money to where if they didn't want to do it, they don't have to do it.
They don't have to do it, and they
Yeah.
do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, I was really blown away by that. Okay, so All Nightmare Long.
Yes. So
That was next.
All Nightmare Long is what's from an album called Death Magnetic that some people would call their return to form album.
Right? Yes.
Where they
that
started
felt very like back to business.
And the big reason I included that is because I just think it's a fantastic song, but also that was a big album for me when it came out because I went through my whole weird period in the late 90s into the early 2000s where like I wasn't listening to a lot of like heavy rock and metal stuff.
Right.
Because nothing was really connecting with me, and people that I knew were all moving away from it. So I felt like I was supposed to move away from it too. Like, oh, clearly I'm not supposed to be listening to this music anymore. And then sometime around like 2004, 2005, all of a sudden I started leaning into like, well, why am I not? When I hear these songs, I enjoy them. Why am I not listening to this? And I slowly started making my way back in, realizing that most people have shitty taste, and I shouldn't be following other people. And so I found my way back into metal because that was the thing. Like when I was in high school, like I swear every other week I was the one that was coming being like, oh, this cool, band has a new album. And my group of friends would be like, we're not listening to that anymore. And I'd be like,
they're done. Okay.
I'd be like, what do you mean? Well, we're listening to punk music now. So now we're into Bad Religion. And I'll be like,
okay,
cool. Bad Religion sounds cool. Can't I also listen to this and Bad Religion? No.
Right.
No. And so, but it just got worse when we got into our 20s because people I knew all of a sudden, like everything else was a fucking joke except for the thing they were currently listening to. And I'm just like, that's a really weird way to be a music fan.
No,
and so,
sure.
So I got totally lost because I didn't know. I was like, what am I supposed to do? So I went through, I've talked about this on other things you may have heard on Cranked and Rank, where I went through a period where like I went and I tried to get into like every album that Rolling Stone said was an amazing album. And I tried to get into jazz and I tried to get into all these other things. And I found my way out of it when I started like reaching for like the heavy music from when I was younger and being like, no, this still does it for me. And there are bands still doing this. Yep. So I started working my way back into it, started growing my hair back out. I felt really good about that. And then Metallica put out that album. And I just remember it made me feel like I was fucking 13 again, hearing that album.
Yeah, it connected.
So I hear that out. I listen to that album now, and it feels like a classic album from my youth, even though it's not. I was in my early 30s when that album came out. So it's just so
your journey and their journey connected. Your journey.
Well, our journeys were always kind of mingling with each other.
Right.
But I did move away where I was less interested in what they were doing because I felt like I wasn't supposed to be interested in what they're doing.
Okay.
And then I found my way back. And that's why I'll often say, like, I wish I could just erase my 20s altogether because
don't say that.
Because like I listened to I did a lot of I was a kind of a jerk off in my 20s.
I get that. No, I wish I could erase the jerk off part of my 20s.
Not sure. but even musically speaking, I was kind of a jerk off. And yeah, I wasn't letting myself just enjoy music. I felt like I needed to impress people.
Okay, totally.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I did the same thing with the hardcore stuff. I was like, okay, I don't need it anymore. That was a period of time. It was only supposed to last that long. Because it was literally a music that was immediate. It was happening immediately. It was 35 seconds long, and now it's done. And now I can move away. And I literally was like, why do I have all these records even? This is not a jab at you because I fucking got rid of them all. I'm like, am I doing this for me? Or am I doing this so when people come over, they can see what I did, my collection. You know what I mean? That kind
exactly.
Of
and that's the thing is that if people come over to my house, I am gladly pointing out the shit in my collection that I love that most people would be like, oh, why do you have that?
Totally.
Because I love it. So.
Right. But I am not supposed to have regrets, because of Buddhism. But I do sometimes really, 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 really wish the one thing that I would have held on to was all my LPs because I spent a good long time collecting. And I really had some ones that were like 100, 1,000 pressed or whatever.
Shit.
And now I'm never going to hear that again. It's not on Spotify. It's not on the internet. It's not, you can't, I mean, it is, but I'm not willing to dig far enough to find
also, with some of that stuff, they've repressed it on vinyl. You can get it again.
Well, that's true.
But to speak what you're talking about especially hardcore music, like the idea that like some of that music, it is very immediate and it is very like, it's of a time, but I feel transported. I feel the same kind of energy. Like even though in 1983, 84, I wasn't listening to Minor Threat. If I put on Minor Threat, I'm like, I feel the visceral, the young, as I say sometimes, the young juice Those guys had the young juice. And
for sure.
and you feel that. And I mean, just like we talked about when we did the DRI episode, I talk about that on like the first couple DRI albums where it's like, I don't care how fucking old this thing is. You drop the needle on that now. And it's like, you feel that energy and aggression that only could have been done by these kids at this time. But
of course.
The good thing is we can still experience again and still get those emotions and stuff. So,
Yeah, totally. I mean, I can remember being, it was like, that was a big deal, right? When people would go, when, you had to go find that stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, you could mail order it. That was one way you could get it.
Tape trade it.
But tape trade it. Or you'd have to go to wherever, like when we were in Oklahoma, we'd have to drive to Tulsa from like Oklahoma City because there was like a record store there. And of course, you only had X amount of money and you had to pay gas and you had to buy lunch and you had to do whatever. So you could only buy 1 or 2 records. So different people would buy a different set of 1 or 2 records. And then you'd all come home and then you'd end up back at their house and they would play the records that they bought. And you're like, awesome. And then you could make a tape of that and they'd have to go to your house and listen to what you
That's
bought,
exactly what me and my friends did. Like in high school and stuff.
God.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, and it was all, you'd like, we would screen print or make stickers or draw or do whatever. There was other junk you did, but the point was that you were going to listen and then you had to make the tape and then you had to drive around in your car to make sure you could got all the skate spots with your skateboard.
I didn't do that. I was never a skateboarder.
Yeah, I was like only into it barely, but I mean, it was that culture was. I used to skateboard to get from one place to the other, but I was never a trick person or anything. I don't know if it was because I was. I don't know. You know what? I didn't want
to be honest. I didn't either. To be honest, the people that were the coolest to me when I was younger were those skateboarders that I'm just skating to my job. Like that to me was fucking cool. The dudes that did the tricks, I'm like, impressive. But I just love the idea of just like, I'm going to go to work. Let me get on my board. I'm just like, totally. It's cool as fuck, man.
Yeah. That was a great way to get around too.
Yeah.
It was awesome. But anyway, that was a backhanded compliment. Thank you very much.
It wasn't. It was a legit compliment.
It wasn't backhanded, motherfucker.
It wasn't backhanded at all. I legitimately think that's great.
Okay. But records. Oh yeah. So when you even fucking put that DRI cover up on your shelf the other day, I was like, oh whoa. And I remember it was a
7-inch first.
Yeah, it was a 7-inch first, right? I mean, there was something about just the smell of the paper or something, even or whatever. I got immediately transferred back to like. Be it my bedroom or like one of my friends' bedrooms, like where the stereo was, and just like, and at sometimes you didn't know if they were on 33 or 45 because there's no real information on the stuff, and you had to gauge. And that thing was so fucking fast.
Yeah.
It was like, is this on 45? Like, do I have it on the wrong? You know what I mean? Like, what is going on? Because they just pushed that shit out. But then that was just ubiquitous for like a couple of weeks. That would just be the only thing that would get played.
Yeah.
And then the new one would come out and whatever. But yeah, man, that was good times. So that thing about immediately being transferred back, I totally agree. I completely, totally agree. Sometimes I get sad, Stephen.
Why?
Because I'm not that old. I'm not that young anymore. Like I can hear that and I can feel that. I can feel the whole of that music. You know what I mean? But I'm like in a 57-year-old body right now that just doesn't like. And some of my friends are dead. You know what I mean? Like that's the thing too. You live long enough that you're like, oh yeah, they died.
Yeah.
And it's like, and now the numbers game starts to go on in your own head. You know what I mean? Like, oh, okay.
Yeah, but I feel like there's something beautiful about the mature experience of things that are in essence immature. Being able to connect with those things with a different wisdom, if you will, I guess. Sure. Like that's the stuff that, with nostalgia, and there are a lot of people that I know that are obsessed with being young. I'm not obsessed with being young.
Right.
It's just this stuff from my past. Because when I listen to it, it's a different feeling now, and it's actually more enjoyable now in certain ways. In some ways, it's very different. But never in any of my, sitting and listening to an album like if like I'll put on Nevermind by Nirvana and my mind is blown every single time. I love every moment of that album, but no part of me wants to be 13 years old again. I do not want that. But I love the way that it makes me feel now, you know?
Totally. I was 23, so I do want to be 23 again. I think that'd be awesome.
Yeah. Honestly, if I could choose, if somebody came to me and said, "Look, you're going to be like Jesus, where you're like frozen in a certain point of your life." I think he was like 30 something. I think that's
30.
kind
He
of
was 30.
I think that
33.
33. I think
Famously
33 would be a good year. I would like to be because I got to the point where I got smart enough to like start opening my mind about a lot of stuff and being more level-headed about things. And I'm like, I don't want to be young. I want to be young enough, but I want to also be old enough to like be open to things.
Of course.
And
of
so
course.
like I would never want to be 23 again because fuck that guy. That guy sucked. But
Yeah, that guy did suck. But he was
33-year-old
a lot
me.
of fun though.
Yeah, more energy too, I guess. But
Sure, yeah.
And I think it's probably because even now, as a 47-year-old person, like there are times where I definitely feel my age.
Yeah.
But I would go so far as to say that even with physical limitations that age brings at this point, and I know I'm 10 years younger than you, but you start feeling them when you're in the 40s. But even with that, mentally speaking, like I don't feel old.
No. Well, I don't either. Well, I do now. At 57, I do. Coming up on 60 is like it's inescapable.
All you got to do, just go and look at some footage of Iggy Pop on stage now and don't feel old.
Wow.
Because he's still fucking doing it. And he's, what, 75, 80? Like, what is he now?
He's a Superman. I have He's amazing. No, he's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's amazing. Yeah. Oh man, did you see? Did you see The Substance? Did we talk about this yet? The Substance.
You asked me about it, and I'm not a big movie person. I'm one of those people that when I watch a movie, it's got to be like action or comedy or something because I don't devote a lot of time to movies.
Flick. You like a horror flick though.
I like 80s horror flicks.
Okay. All right. This is a body horror flick, and it's very weighty. I mean, it has a lot of weight to it. I've now seen it 3 times.
Wow.
And I get a lot out of it each time I see it, and it goes very deep. But anyway, it has to do with youth and aging and whatever.
I haven't actually. I can't even tell you the last movie I watched because my wife and I, like throughout the week, we have times where we sit down and we watch like maybe a TV show, maybe 2, because my attention span doesn't allow for much. So, but we like.
You've been here since 7.
Well, have you seen how many times we fucking what song were we even talking about? So,
I can tell you.
Don't.
No, but anyway, when you and your wife listen.
I really like where a lot of television has gone now because it's almost like little mini movies. And the 2 things I like about that is like, hey, I get an hour of a story, but that story doesn't have to be done in 2 hours or 2.5 hours. If I'm invested in a story, holy shit, there's 9 more episodes.
Sure.
And I get to think about it for 3-4 weeks so like I've actually gotten to the point now where if I see a trailer for something and I go, ooh, what's this? And as soon as they say the new movie, I'm like, no, I don't want a fucking movie. I want you to take the time to tell me a fucking story. If it's a good story, do it in 10 episodes. Or fucking make it but like that doesn't mean that movies are all bad to me now. I like have so little time that I'm like, I really want a story that I can spend some time with. I don't want it to be 2 hours because most of the time I'll watch a movie and go, they really rushed a lot of that shit to get it into an hour, 45 minutes or 2 hours or whatever. Or if it's a longer movie, like I remember we watched the first Dune movie. They did the remake of Dune.
Yes, Timothy Chalamet.
And I enjoyed it. And then the movie ended and I went, what else is there? Because it was like, it was a really well done movie.
Yeah, it was.
But I was just like, I feel like the story could have gone be way better told if you had more time, even than the 3 hours that one took. I know there's a part 2, but
yeah, and there's going to be a 3, isn't there?
I have no idea. I just know that that's a bad example. But what I'm trying to say is that,
right,
like,
okay, that one didn't work. But what I'm saying is, yeah, that's only.
They should do the movie. So instead of doing three-hour movies, do an entire series of hour-long episodes. Put the same effort into it. And I like it because I love the way that I know a show is hitting it for me is I'll watch an episode and a couple of days later I'm still thinking about that episode before I watch the next one. That is what I know is connecting with me. And movies are the same way where I'll watch a movie and I'll think about it a few days later. But most of the time with movies these days, I'll forget that I even saw it.
Oh, a lot of them are that way for me too, for sure, for sure. And that, because well, I was going to ask, you brought up 2 questions or 2 observations. Where one is that we used to have to wait a week.
I love that. People are all like, I want to binge this right now. I'm like, no, I want to watch especially with how well shit is being done these days.
Totally.
I'm just like, there's a show on I don't know what you have to watch over there, but there's a show on Apple TV called Severance.
Okay.
Fucking amazing. Like story wise, every time like something will happen in this story and I go, who the fuck thought of this? Like whose crazy fucking brain came up with this idea? Because Severance, have you heard about Severance?
I've seen. We were watching Silo on that show.
So Silo's amazing. Fuck yeah! But Severance is a show. It exists in a world where there's technology where, in order to create a work-life balance, there is some sort of chip or something, a receptor that's implanted in your head, to where when you go in to your work, immediately you become a different version of yourself that doesn't know anything about your outside life, and your outside life doesn't know anything about your work life. You literally are just going in there to do your job, and then you leave, and your work life is not affecting your home life. But that's just the beginning of the fucking story. It's just one of those things where that if they tried to do that in a 2-hour movie, it would be fucking awful. But now they're on, we're halfway or a little bit more halfway through season 2. And I'm just like the shit that you can do with storytelling and everything in this format, it's so much better to me. I'm not trying to go to the substance that what you're talking about is a bad movie because I don't know anything about it. But I'm trying to give you an idea of like a long-winded idea of why movies have really taken a back seat to everything else for me. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. No, I mean, that's true. I mean, it's the same thing too. Like that Battlestar Galactica, James Alamos, as we mentioned earlier from,
I watched some of that one. I remember that one.
Okay. Yeah. And we were definitely addicted to it and we were watching it, and then I think we did actually binge watch that. And it was like, we became very obsessed with the show. And I believe Portlandia did a very good skit about that.
I loved Portlandia.
Oh, Portlandia was so awesome. Those 2 were great. Carrie Brownstein and gosh, so good. But then at some point I'm like, they are throwing stuff at your head so fast that they are not resolving because they're snaking the show into a realm where you're like, oh wait, didn't the Cylons have a thing where they did a thing back there at the thing or whatever? And you're like, that was a dream state, right? But so sometimes I feel like shows have too long and they get really bloated and you're like, dude, just fucking wrap this thing up already because I really want to know who built the silo.
Yeah, well, Silo is not one of those shows for me. Silo is doing it right because they're not trying to make things into 24 episode seasons. They're just doing 10 episode seasons.
Sure, there is a big difference between how TV is produced.
Because there are some shows that I think in general are pretty good, but because they do 24 episodes, all of a sudden you're like, half of these are unnecessary and don't move the story forward at all. Right. And I don't like that at all. So I have to ask my wife about shows because my wife will sometimes like see a show or preview part of a show and be like, yes, I think you might like this. And I'm all like, does it seem like a regular ass TV show? Like it'd be on NBC or some shit. And she has to go,
okay.
no. And she always like, they say fucking it a bunch. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah, I'll do that. I'll fucking do that. Yeah, I actually, what happens with me is I bow out sometimes, and Jessica will have to finish them on her own. And I'll be like, you know what, this is yours. I see. Like the thing I like about the movie format is that they do have to keep it very, and it has to happen. And if it's done correctly, then I feel very gratified. And I'll just like listening to an album again. I'll just go back and watch the fucking thing again. You know what I mean? If it's good,
Yeah.
and if it's yeah.
And I think my problem is that my life is still so filled with so much music that I don't have time to go watch a movie again.
Of course. Sometimes I'm doing other stuff and I'm like, Steven right now is listening to music. I literally think that.
If I'm not listening to it, I guarantee you I'm thinking about something music related at that time.
But the other thing I was going to say is too, is when we grew up in the VHS store era, I mean, they were cranking movies out just to fucking crank them out. And they did make a lot of turds. And it was like, they are very forgettable. They just fall right out of your head.
Yeah.
You know, no character development, no whatever. It was just really strange.
But some of those turds are movies that I truly enjoy. But it's only because at that particular time, we didn't have shitloads of choices for all sorts of things. I didn't have money to buy shitloads of records or Apple Music or Spotify or streaming services. So you would watch movies that, sure, maybe somebody could look back and be like, well, compared to The Godfather, this movie isn't very good. But I'd be like, well, that doesn't fucking matter. Movie.
But right. I've never seen The Godfather, by the way. Have you?
It's overrated, in my opinion.
Oh, okay. I've never seen it. Okay, that's fine. I've never seen it. Okay.
It's fine. It's fine. That's just a movie that people talk about, so I threw that out there.
No, I'm glad you did.
But it's like some other shitty '90s movie that like got really bad reviews is one that connected with me, and that's one that where I'm just like, well, this is really important. That was almost a yawn. That was a yawn.
No, that wasn't a yawn.
I saw it.
What are you talking about?
I saw it. I fucking saw it.
Roll the tape back.
Roll that beautiful bean footage.
Are you talking about that thing?
No.
The bean footage?
No,
what are you talking about?
It's a commercial from back in the day where it was for Bush's baked beans.
Oh, I thought you were talking about that Black Mirror episode where they had that little bean behind their head.
Oh,
that
no.
Recorded everything. Did you ever see that?
I saw a couple episodes of Black Mirror. And my problem with that one was, once again, I'm like, well, are you just doing one story in one episode? I can just not watch this then.
But did you watch The Twilight Zone ever?
Yeah, somewhat. I watched the movie a lot.
Well, there you go. And I agree with you about those 90s movies too, by the way. Some of them were very, very fantastic. Yeah, they could get it done. Man, I think I was sighing. I don't think I was. See, now I feel really old. Like, oh, you're about to fall asleep, old man, which is really weird. This is I was up till really late last night. I didn't get home till 1:09. We said that already. I'm sorry.
1:09.
See how long it has been? I left one day and came home the next day. We've already talked about that. Okay, dude, listen.
That's okay. Well, fine.
What did we say about All Nightmare Long? Did we talk about this one already? What was that video?
You didn't. I did. It was off that Death Magnetic album that was very important to me because it was a return to form. And I think the video is cool because it doesn't look like a lot of other videos. It's very interesting.
And that's not the Small Room one.
No, it's the anime. It's like animated and it looks like old school animated from like the 40s or something.
Dude, thank you so much. That one was fucking great.
Yeah.
I fucking loved that one.
Yeah.
That whole, like, where it went from old, and again, I'm talking about the video, not the song, but the song was really cool and it was long, right? Wasn't that one?
It's back to their sort of epic long song kind of shit.
Epic. Okay, so that song I totally dug. That whole thing, at one point I'm like, oh, am I watching someone play a video game? Like I kind of get that, but the style of animation was really great. And if we're going to talk about flat Earth, we might as well talk about chemtrails because they did shoot barium into the air right at one point. But I thought that was very interesting concept for that video, and that Russia attacked America, I thought was really pretty great. But like, is the song's lyrics? Because at some point I'm trying to read all the words on the screen, and they're not matching up with what he's saying at all. It's just a disjointed, right? Okay.
Yeah,
This is where I would have loved to have. I need to find that song that doesn't have the visuals and just like listen to that fucking song.
Yeah.
And I would, because I really enjoyed that song. That was great. That was really cool. Okay.
Nice.
Here we are, dude. Lou Reed.
The Lulu album, yes.
Okay. At the party last night, my friend, who has a wall that looks like yours, was DJing like nuts. He would go play a couple songs and then he'd get up and go put something else on, and everything was great.
I love doing that.
It was fucking
I don't really have any friends, so I don't ever do it, but I would love to.
Okay, well, I guess I just listened more to your app, don't I? Because that's basically what you're doing.
Basically.
But it got to the point where he got on Lou Reed. And I was like, dude, this is pretty awesome. Like, and I said, have you ever heard that Lulu? Oh, because he went and got out his Lou Reed section, and he was like, look, this isn't even anything with the Velvet Underground. This is just all the Lou Reed. And he was popping off, and I knew some, and he even played that metal music record. We set a timer for 2 minutes and 30 seconds. He's like, that's all you get. He goes, I've only ever heard that record one time. It's almost impossible to listen to.
Yeah.
And so we did, and it was very hectic. Have you heard that record?
Yes, I have.
Do you have it?
No, I don't have it. No, but I've heard it.
Okay. So I am a fan of Lou Reed. I'm a fan of the Velvet Underground. I enjoyed everything about that group. The time period they came out, the Warhol era, New York, I'm sure like Lou Reed was almost impossible to, I'm sure I would never want to talk to Lou, would have never wanted to actually have a conversation with Lou Reed. He seemed like a particularly thorny person to be around, and I don't like to hang out with those kind of people. I feel, but anyway, that being said, whatever he made, that stuff he made, his music that he did, I'm a fan. And so and I even like that comeback stuff that he did in the 90s. What, like New York, was that what and all that stuff? Did you like that stuff?
I don't know if I've even heard that stuff. So.
Okay, and was it John Cale who died? I'm sorry, I'm really bad about this stuff, but sort of Damocles, that song and everything about his friend with the cancer and the chemo killing him as fast as the cancer and all this kind of stuff. I mean, it was very gut wrenching music, and he could be very cynical, and he could be very blunt and to the point. And I really enjoy it. I think that makes for a good. When you're in the mood for that kind of music, he's the guy to go to.
I remember back in the 90s, there was, do you remember that like Def Comedy Jam? There was that show called Def Comedy Jam.
100%.
They started doing a thing called Def Poetry Jam in the 90s.
Yes, they did.
And Lou Reed was on that. I remember Lou Reed being there. Yeah.
Yeah. So, so when I mentioned Lulu, my friend did not own that record. He had heard it before, thought it was a very interesting combo, but another one of my friends who was there was like, yeah, that's like one of the most critically how do you say it? It was not received well or whatever, and he thought it was just a combination that didn't work very well. I, on the other hand, thought that it did work well.
It was only not received well by Metallica fans. Like literally Rolling Stone wrote a fucking review about how great it was. Like it was critically well received, not by Metallica fans though.
Okay, so I even loved the fact that when they showed Lou Reed's face in that video, it was that. I'm assuming that one face that you can't really focus on is his face. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I mean, isn't he in the room playing with them in that video?
Yeah, but they have a video of him from like 3/4 back.
Oh, okay.
And so you don't really see his face, but there's like right in the beginning and stuff, that first big face that comes up.
Yeah.
That is like wizened and old and not able to be focused on with the eye. I'm assuming that's supposed to be him. Anyway, I thought that was all great. That he applauds him at the end, everything. I thought that was awesome.
He loved that album. Like he was upset. He was upset that people didn't like it before he died.
Dude, it was fucking great.
Yeah.
It was great.
I understand it being, the whole album is especially for somebody that just listens to metal or rock music, it's a really difficult album to get through. So I understand that, but it doesn't mean it's a bad album. Same thing with like Metal Machine Music or whatever. Is that what it's called? Metal Machine Music?
Yeah, Metal Machine Music. Yeah.
It doesn't mean it's bad. It's like, may not be what you want to hear, or maybe, not pleasing to your ears, but Unfortunately, like metal fans, anything that's out of the norm is immediately bad, especially if it's challenging in some way. Ooh, fuck that, you know.
Okay. Yeah. But I would actually be interested in hearing more of that combination just because to hear, I think like Lou Reed for some people is like Bob Dylan for others. Like, you either you get the Bob Dylan thing or you don't get the Bob Dylan thing. And a lot
Sure.
of people don't like his voice. They like what he says, okay, or whatever, or they think he's an asshole or whatever. And I think Lou Reed kind of falls in a similar category, different person
Yeah.
entirely, but like
Yeah.
same category. And known as a wordsmith and all that, to be full of themselves and to be difficult and all this other kind of stuff that goes along with that. And by
Yeah.
the way, did you see the Dylan movie?
No, I'm not a Dylan fan. So,
Okay.
but I'm one of those people that I don't hate Bob Dylan. Like I kind of appreciate what he did,
Yep.
or
Yep.
what he does. My wife
Right.
likes Bob Dylan. And he has some songs that I go, it's pretty good. But like overall, like the style of music doesn't connect with me. So he's never been a guy that I've been into because his music feels like it's not connected to my world at all.
No, it absolutely like you've said before, you've realized that there are artists or bands that are so important that have actually completely influenced bands that you like later on.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah, no, and I feel the same way. And again, I came to Dylan the same way I came to the Beatles much later at 25, 20, around in there. But I have a DVD collection over here, and in it is that Penny Baker documentary of, I think, I can't even remember what it's called. I can't read it from here because it's too dark outside the spotlights of this of this desk I have set up. But do you know what I'm talking about? It's the black and white one where he goes to England. He's with Joan Baez and he
Yeah.
meets Mellow Yellow.
I've never seen it, but I know what you're talking about.
Okay, well, that was my next question. Had you seen it? Because
No.
if you had not seen it, if you had, man, every time Nazi is in there, that's a weird thing to say. Nazi, I know it's weird when I say it. I don't even want to say it. But if that is a movie that you have not seen and you do not get Dylan, the fucking leather jacket, harmonica, guitar, fucking wild ass fro, black and white footage of him stepping out onto that stage in London to play that fucking show.
Yeah.
Like goosebumps, dude.
Yeah.
It's like, okay.
Yeah.
God. You know what I mean?
He is an artist. There's a lot of those artists that like I don't ever really argue because I'm just like,
right.
because it's not because if I listen to that kind of, because one of my favorite, my wife's favorite artist ever is Joni Mitchell, and that is not the kind of music that I like.
Oh, okay.
But I hear things in it that I appreciate, but also I put myself into that mindset of if I was into folk music,
sure,
how important would this be to me? And I'm like, it'd be fucking massive.
Oh, it'd be massive.
So it's one of those things where like I could never say this is bad, but I can definitely say I don't really want to listen to it.
Right.
It's not even I don't like it. It's like it's not even connected to me in any way. Where my receptors that are taking in music, it doesn't fit. Like it's almost like my brain is like a puzzle, and that kind of music doesn't go in. It just is kind of there, and it bounces off, and I go, yeah, that's over there, cool. It's
totally. I think I've just been involved with enough. I think enough of the really kick-ass women that I've been very fortunate enough to have had relationships with it throughout my life have liked her enough that I'm going, oh, okay, got it. Like, let me ask you this. Are you into Ani DeFranco at all?
No, but
Okay.
I don't really know Ani DeFranco. I only know Ani DeFranco through girls I knew who were insufferable assholes who were
that's
into
too
Ani
bad.
DeFranco.
Okay, sorry about that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
And
I, and the opposite, I guess, is that they were very strong, incredible women that I really enjoyed. And so I didn't, but I know what you're talking about when they're like, I never got into the Grateful Dead because I didn't understand their crowd base and their fan base. And I never understood that. I understand it now,
yeah,
but I didn't at the time. But, yeah, Ani is, so many people in your comment section write what they would love to see you crank and rank all the time. It's
yeah,
just stunning to see like how many people just like they're into that format so hardcore and they love you two guys doing it that
yeah.
they're like, I want to see you do this. I want to see you do this. I want to see you do this. Like, you got to read through those comments,
I
right? Like
do.
that. Yeah, you got to know that. Yeah, because I see you put little hearts next to I love this comment, which is very sweet of you to
I'm
do
not
that.
very good at responding because I sometimes just don't know what to say.
No, but you said you read it. You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
Oh
You
yeah.
just
Oh
put a little
yeah.
tick
Yeah.
on there. Yeah, and that's nice. So, I always want to see you guys do. I just think all the time, like, I just would love it if you guys had to sit down, got to sit down, excuse me, I won't use the word, and listen to all of Ani's albums, and then to be like, whoa, okay, like have to talk, because I had no idea. Like, I had people who were into her that I respected, but I'd never heard her before, and then they play it for you, and the first time it's like, well, I don't really get what's going on here at all. Same receptors do not take it
Yeah.
in the thing, but you realize though that there's something is happening. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And then I ended up going to see her live, and dude, like talk about a person who can fucking play the guitar.
Mhm.
Like that little percussive style of hers is just like it's it's absolutely amazing, and she has the crowd. Do you know what I mean?
Mhm.
She holds every single person in that room.
Yeah.
And you can just see, like, they're not screaming like for the Beatles or whatever, but I mean, you can feel that people are feeling what's
Yeah.
happening up on stage. Anyway, I would love it if I
I
would love to hear you and Eddie fucking talk about her because it would be just like,
that
I
would
don't,
be. I'm going to bring that up because that would be
okay.
interesting to something that's in neither one of our worlds, and I've never given her any kind of chance because I ran into so many women
Right.
that were angry at all men.
Well,
That was their, and
okay.
here's the thing.
Sure.
I understand it,
Yeah, totally.
and I understand that men through time have brought this on ourselves.
Yes.
We did it. I know, but
You didn't do it,
I
but
mean
we
no,
did it. Yeah,
but
yeah,
I'm
no, totally.
I
Yeah.
expect, but being I have a what they call white guilt a lot of times, but
Same, same, same,
I have a combination of white straight guilt.
same.
And but I've always been very annoyed at anybody that generalizes an entire type of person because I equate it with, oh, the men have done some bad things, and so you treat every man like a piece of shit. If a black man did something shitty to you, are you now a racist? Like, I'm
Oh,
just
right,
like,
right,
you
right,
can't
right, right.
fucking act that way. Mind you, we were all a lot younger and we were all immature. I've never I've never had anyone mention Ani DeFranco to me as a grown ass man. All of my experience with the name Ani DeFranco is me being a teenager or 20 something.
Okay, sure.
And
No, totally.
so when I hear the name, I go, what is this? It's a song about men are shitty. Like what is she fucking singing?
Some of
'Cause
it is. Some of
yeah,
it is for sure. Some of it is. Yeah.
but that's me generalizing, and I shouldn't generalize somebody's music. But because it's not in my world, I've never
Hmm.
had any
Hmm.
reason to not generalize it because
Oh no, totally. Of
it's
course.
just
Right.
over there.
Right. Yeah.
So
No personal
that to
experience.
me is fucking fascinating because you mention it, and I go, that would be really interesting because I don't know any of her songs offhand that I can think of.
Hmm.
I'm pretty sure Eddie doesn't either.
Hmm.
It's literally a kind of music that we've never delved into before.
Hmm.
And I'm
Hmm.
like, that would be fascinating to do, actually.
Well, yeah, because I feel like the particular qualities that both of you have in your personalities and how you interact with one another, and the strengths that both of you bring to these Crankton ranks, and the fact that you have gone way outside of like that Beatles one. I don't know if it's just because the Beatles are so important or whatever, but like that anybody talking about them, no, that's not true. You guys handled them as a social phenomenon, like just a phenomenon, has where they sat in history. You handled everything about that group from critical reception, fan worship, and then but at the end of every conversation you had, you were down to the songs,
Yeah.
the albums, the performances. You had anecdotes about it. You had all sorts of stuff. Anyway, I know that Ani is.
This is the best review I've ever gotten about anything we've done. Thank you. I love this.
Oh, no.
That's what I want. That's what I want our shows to bring across. That whole
Dude,
thing.
they totally do. Yeah, they totally do.
That's nice to hear.
No, it's great. I mean, that's why I'm like, oh, you didn't upload anything this week? What's that thing? Were you gonna upload that? You know what I mean? Because I want to,
just wait for the Cock trilogy that's coming up for the next 3 weeks.
Cock
trilogy.
Cock trilogy. The trilogy of the cock.
Yes, and it's only because 3 artists that you could relate penis things to are all in a row.
Okay. Well, and then follow it up with Ani. There you go. So that goes back to I
the Vag trilogy.
I changed the name of my thing to what was it? Sacros. I can't even pronounce it. I found out the word for sweet and the word for edible. And I put them together. I went into the thesaurus and I had sweet edibles, and then I added the yoni. I want to say mudra, but it's the hand symbol for yoni, and yoni is the female sex organ, and the other one is ling. See, I can't even remember, lingam or something. It's the male, which is also like this sometimes. Anyway, that's what that is. So it's a little pussy eating reference there, but that's between you and me.
Interesting.
Oh, and I guess the internet now. But anyway, so but it would be interesting to follow up the Cock trilogy with some Joni Mitchell and Ani DeFranco and one other. If you had a trilogy, what would the other one be?
Alanis Morissette. I don't know.
Oh, okay, sure, because
that's more modern and more popular.
Florence and the Machine. Are you into Florence and the Machine at all?
I think I mean, did they do more than one album?
I think they've done at least 2, but that is true. That is true. They don't have an entire discography for you to get into. But like, what about the Runaways?
Oh yeah, we have Lita Ford on the list somewhere. But the Runaways is only 3 actual albums the Runaways did.
Sure.
Only 2 is the original band.
Yes. Yeah.
But it would be. I think that now that you mention it, I'll probably bring it up to Eddie and be like, what if we did something like nobody asked for it? It's not anything that we would normally ever even talk about, but we just give it a shot. Like the real question is, how many albums does Ani DeFranco have? I picked up my phone and my wife is texting me. Oh, she's texting me shit from Amazon.
You're gonna flip your mind when you find out how many she has.
Okay. Oh, it's a lot? Because that's a deterrent sometimes for us. But
okay. I get it.
Ani DeFranco, hold on, discography, albums, 23 albums.
Yeah, it's tough. You're not gonna do.
And people are still buying them.
Yeah, dude.
Jesus
I'm sorry.
Christ.
I just blew it. I shouldn't have told you. I should have got you more excited about it.
I do love that her 2024 album is called Unprecedented Shit.
Yes. Right. She's good. All right.
Well.
Hey, speaking of ladies.
What?
Lady Gaga.
Oh yeah, Lady Gaga.
Hey, have you done a Madonna one, by the way? Have you done a Madonna Crankton Ranks?
Oh no, but I would absolutely love to do that. She's on the list. I'd put her on the list.
Okay. So,
but that's a thing that you should have seen the fucking internet comments after that. Like, people were like, "Oh, I thought Metallica already fucking sucked, but now they're fucking doing this pop bullshit. Fuck this and Slayer."
What was pop about that song?
It's Lady Gaga. It's Lady Gaga.
Yeah, but dude, she can do anything.
Not to metal fans, she can't.
Come on, really? Dude, their voices.
Haven't I made it
together.
abundantly clear that metal fans, for the most part, are fucking awful?
Oh, well, I tried to tell you. I mean, it's not true. Look, they're wonderful people, but I guess
there are some really
they
wonderful
like what
people.
They like. They like what they
but
like.
they're not just metal fans. All of the best metal fans I've ever met are the ones that also have Madonna or something else in their collection. The dudes that try to put off this thing where they're like, I only listen to the most brutal of stuff and I listen to the original metal stuff. Those are the ones that are like, nothing can ever be any different. And yes, I may be on house arrest for beating my wife, but this is the music that I love.
Right.
You know?
Okay. But do they change as they get older? When they turn 33, do you think their brain shifts?
No, they get worse.
Oh, they get worse.
Some of them get fucking worse. But here's the thing. I'm probably generalizing also because of the internet.
Sure.
When there's probably a
internet.
very large amount of people that are actually very level-headed and very nice. But because of what I do, my livelihood as old head does not exist without the internet. And there is there is no interaction without people listening and commenting, and then on my socials, people commenting. And it just so happens that there are so many people that pop up that say shit where you're just like, are you like a real fucking person that you let that shit come out of your mouth?
Yeah. Are they?
Yeah.
Are they real people? Okay.
Yeah.
And because it's like being a police officer, like you would see people at their worst, right? And so you would maybe get this idea, or if you were a doctor, you only see people when they're sick, so you think illness was, you know what I mean, like whatever. I mean, it does like, so being a content producer for social media, which I'm assuming YouTube is a social media, correct? That's what
technically, yeah.
Okay. You are going to get that comment section, and I think that comment section brings out the worst in people.
Well, it's because people that wouldn't normally say shit to your face feel that they're anonymous and they will just say whatever. But a lot of them in the metal world feel like they're saying the right thing because people come into this music and feel like there are rules that you're supposed to think this and this. So they feel justified in saying a lot of the things that they say. And, and unfortunately, those people are the ones that stand out because
they're the loudest.
What's that? And it's baffling to me that people can go through their lives, and I don't understand the mindset of a person that you literally can just post a picture of something. Let's say, here's an album I'm listening to, or here's a picture of my kid, and somebody decides to just like get on there and be like, oh, that's fucking stupid. I'm like, what kind of person is that where they can't just go past something and be like, I'm not interested in this and then move on? They feel like they have to say something. And it's because, well, it's two things. They're shitty people. But on top of that, the metal world, and I'm going to go as far as say the punk world too. And I'm sure it probably goes all the way over to fucking jazz musicians or jazz fans, where there is a set thing where people that really want to be that's their livelihood is, I'm a metalhead. If that's all they have, then they have to play into these rules because that's the way they prove that they're not a poser. So it's like, it's too much like trying to prove that you're legit or whatever. And so I shouldn't focus on those people, but I do focus on those people because I don't get how you can live your life and be that kind of person. Now, mind you, we are now in a situation where it appears that a large majority of the American people are those people. And I'm just like, how can you fucking live your life like that? Like, what is wrong with your brain that you can't just enjoy your life and enjoy the things you enjoy. You need to be in other people's fucking business because you think there are rules that don't fucking matter. It's literally shit that doesn't fucking matter. You know, not to get political, but we literally have a president that on the first day he fucking spoke as being reelected president, something he thought was important to say was there are two genders. He's the president having to deal with the economy and having influence in fucking wars in other parts of the fucking country, and people are starving. People are going into schools and shooting children. But he's like, it's important for me to say that there are two genders. No, it's not. Go fuck yourself. So
right. No, totally. Right. Hey, I just need you to I need you to fix some other stuff.
I got itchy throat.
What are you gonna? Oh, what happened?
I don't know.
You should just take a swig out of that.
I'm out of juice.
What are you gonna go do about that?
I don't know, but I've been talking. When I talk for a long time, my voice starts going.
I get it. Okay, so listen.
Plus, I ranted and I blew out all of my shit.
That was okay. Good. It's expelled. You no longer have to sit with it in your own body. Man, I agree with you totally. You can think what you want to, and that's totally great. And then there's other people that have stuff going on, and it literally doesn't matter. I know exactly.
But it also doesn't matter to people that are talking shit about it. It doesn't affect their lives at all. But they're still out there talking shit. So.
Oh, of course.
Sorry, I'm sorry.
No,
it gets to a point. It gets to a point where we talked about this. We talked about this before, where once this shit starts affecting my family, it's all bets are off. I'm not going to be cool about stuff. You know.
Oh, totally.
Because it's legitimately affecting members of my family with some of the shit that people are talking about. So
yes.
Anyway.
Completely.
Where were we on Metallica? This is
okay, dude. Well, I think okay. So we didn't get through the Metallica through the Never trailer.
Lulu.
Yeah, we were on Lulu, and then 11 is the Metallica through the Never trailer, which I thought looked like a pretty good movie. Now, is that just a movie that revolves around footage of them?
No, it's a concert film, but they work kind of a visual story around this kid who works for the band, and he leaves the show, and it's interspersed. It's basically this weird, almost like bizarre dream thing happening while they're playing, and it goes back and forth between a concert film specifically for the movie and this footage of this other story going on. But also they do like a special concert where they're celebrating all of the eras of the band, and they have like special things that happen at that particular show that never happened at any other show. So it's kind of like a cool concert movie, but kind of done in a different way, where there's a little bit of a storyline it's kind of a vague storyline, but it's visually very cool. Okay.
And is it out?
Yeah. Came out in theaters. I saw it in the theater in 3D, and it was a gigantic flop. And they sunk their own money into it because it was done by their company, because they own their own record label now. It's called Blackened Recordings. All of their music is on their label. They even own their own vinyl pressing plant now.
Oh, nice.
But
I have my record pressed through them?
Probably.
Nice. Okay.
But yeah, the movie didn't make very much money, and they ended up losing a lot of money. But as a movie, it's pretty fucking fun. It's a pretty fun movie.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So we talked about Lady Gaga, and then the last thing was Lux Eterna. Is that how you say that?
Yeah, which is their most recent Lux Eterna, which came out 2023 or yeah. So it's their most recent thing.
I really also liked that song.
Yeah. But that sounds like Motorhead again, kind of.
Yes. So apparently the heavy stuff that I get into, but the production is different. It seems
modern,
deeper, wider. It seems that there's also another really great little solo in there from what's his name? Kirk
Hammett.
Kirk. Okay. And lasers were cool, and it's cool to see the gray-haired guys up there, which is which is another phenomenon which we really haven't hit on fully, is that the rock people are all old now.
The young, yeah, because I mean, because
Many of the rock people are old.
Because before, like when I was younger, obviously, and you were younger as well, obviously, but the old rockers were Rolling Stones and the Who or somebody like that. But now, because there was that huge boom of bands in the 80s, all those guys are now old. But the difference is a lot of those bands are still kicking it. They're still doing shit as old people. Whereas you go back to other bands, there were big bands in the 70s, but a lot of those bands didn't survive. And or if they're still around, there's none of the original people in the band, or one original
there's like
person.
one dude. Yeah, totally. Yeah. Okay, well, that was Metallica. Is this going to be episode 5? We talk about Metallica?
Shit, I don't know.
Okay.
It's gonna be called episode 5. We talk about Metallica, and Old Head considers converting to Buddhism.
Oh, nice. Okay, fantastic. And I got to tell you, at this point, I do have to pee. Like,
okay, well, we've reached a good ending point. My voice is starting to go out.
Sure.
This Eddie has to deal with this on Cranked and Rank. When we do those longer episodes, it'll get to a point where we'll be like, dude, my voice is about to go.
Right.
Because I give it my all, folks, every time.
Yes, you do. You bleed for this, dude.
Yeah, probably. I'm probably bleeding internally somewhere. Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, I'm definitely bleeding internally.
Yeah.
So what you wanted?
Oh shit!
This whole thing in my mouth at one time?
That's what she said. Yes.
Okay. So I just want to make sure before I do this that we have said everything we need to say. Like, thank you very much for being here, everyone. I really.
This is going to be like your later dude. You know, like Eddie says later dude at the end of an episode.
Later dude. Okay.
And I'm gonna like wrap it up. And then every single episode, you have to shove a different food into your mouth, and that's the ending of the episode.
Oh, so this is starting a new tradition.
I'm just kidding. It's just this episode. It's just for my birthday. It's my birthday present. So,
okay.
Thanks everybody for watching. If you're still here, you're fucking amazing, because it's been 3 hours, almost 78, almost 4 hours.
Yeah.
It's been almost 4 hours. So this has been, if you're still here, you obviously enjoy this. And so thank you for watching. You're amazing. Smurl, that's Smurl. He's awesome. You can't hear his music, but it's great.
So great.
And Old Head, go listen to Old Head Radio. That's it. Like and subscribe and click the bell and smash that button and
smash it.
And
here it goes.
Smack my bitch up.
Oh.
Don't choke on it. If you're gonna choke,
oh my god! I really wish you could have some of this.